Yo, sorry guys. Space got rugged. We're getting Mike back up here really quick. He had some technical difficulties on his phone. Should be good for now though. My bad, guys. Anyone that was up here, you want to come back up? Feel free. Just shoot a request. I'll bring Michael back up too. I saw he was requested. All right, so Evan, take it away again, man. Sorry about that.
No worries. So here's my question. So if you have XUSD as um, the best, next hyper deflationary uh, stablecoin, so if you have the Surge Fund and you have it in BNB, would it be more beneficial if it helps when you sell and buy XUSD instead of giving people BNB, give them XUSD, because if it can rise on sells and buys, that's fine if you don't want to believe in Surge, and that's fine, but you will ultimately help the people that are still waiting for their Surge funds to be brought back to them, and it would automatically raise the price of XUSD to then help everybody else in the same cause.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's something we've thought of and talked about as well. And we definitely see the benefits of it and how that could be better. But the majority of people, a lot of them might not agree with that. And they might just want their B&B back and to be done with it. We're not going to force them back into our projects that kind of a way. Trust me, we know ultimately it would be better for them in the long run to hold the XUSD and have that appreciate as their reward. But just so people I don't believe that people would be happy with that approach. So we're going to keep it the B&B method. But that's absolutely something we've thought about. And I'm glad you see it for how it is, because it would be optimal. But we feel like that would probably anger a good amount of people at the same time.
I just wish they were being more of an open mind and where they would realize that it would help the whole community as a whole, not just themselves, basically. So, and if you want to sell it, that's perfectly fine. You get your money back, you sell it, but you sell it as XUSD, and then that ultimately helps everybody else. So,
No, I know. I agree with you. I think that would be optimal. But for right now, we're just going to give it back in B&B and let people decide. If they want to go back in and buy XUSD with that, they can, or they can put it towards whatever they want. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Thanks for coming up, man. All right, so I believe Safe Moon Schmoke is next, and then we have Tommy, and then JY, and Fritter.
Yo, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
All right, guys. I made it late to the space. You might have already probably answered this, but if we could touch on it would be great. You know, I have an issue with what was going on with after this project was hacked or whatever. The way the mod came at the community that, pretty much I find it preposterous that they would say, you guys should have done your own due diligence, and Mark wasn't doxxed, and this brings so many questions. To it brings confirmation to a lot of the way the community feels, especially the Safe Moon community, man. What Mark? As you know, I don't speak for the entire Safe Moon community when I say this. Okay, I respect you. You're a highly smart individual. You know what you're talking about when it comes to coding and everything. Okay, I'm not trying to, throw you under the bus here, but I got to ask this question, okay? I kind of feel like, you were highly trusted amongst the Safe Moon community, right? So much so that John and the team, they took you on and they put you on and they trusted you. And, the first question I really have is, what would make you want to do this while newly being hired on the Safe Moon team, right? What would make you want to do this and launch this project, even though that they even though they backed you on it, even though they said, "Hey, man, do your thing," because they trusted you, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even after that, what would make you want to do that on top of that, knowing that we got so many things, happening, and with all the FUD and everything happening? That's my first question. And my
I,
second question is, if you can please, I'm sorry, if you can comment about the mod and how he came at the community after this project was hacked. And Mark, with all due respect, man, with you being as smart as you are, how the hell were you this stupid, dude? Seriously, I'll step down now.
no, no, no. Don't step down. I'd love to answer your question, man. First off, about the mod. The mod in question was removed from his mod position after that was made because of the insensitivity of it. That guy in particular has always been a loyal friend and someone that hates to see people he's close with get under the bus, and he definitely responded harshly to it. And that was directly in. We reacted very quickly to that and made sure that that wasn't, because that's not the stance we were trying to take at all. We're very empathetic about what happened, and although sometimes we do get fed up with all the talk about it, we would never the goal is never to put it on anyone else, because at the end of the day, we realize the majority of people can't read code in DeFi. So you can say, yeah, anyone could have found that exploit. That is absolutely true. It was a renounced contract, but you can't assume that people can just do that. There were several people, even Certic had the code for 4 days before saying it, and they didn't even say anything about the exploit. Like it required a few steps. And to touch on the first thing you said about SafeMoon, when I first joined the team, I wasn't really given much to do, and that wasn't a reason behind anything. But what I wanted to do was I was theorizing with some of my friends at the time. They were also SafeMoon employees, and we had created this really cool system that wasn't like other tokens. Surge isn't a normal token. It's a wrapping mechanism. It's a DeFi utility that any token, including SafeMoon, could utilize. And that's what we originally started coming out and saying. And we weren't really launching the project as a competition to SafeMoon, but by any means. And the way that we did that was we didn't assign ourselves as the owner. We renounced it as soon as we launched it and just let the community go wild with it. The thought was not to break anyone's trust or to take anyone away from SafeMoon. It was to try to showcase what I could do. And I really wanted to show John and show the team what I could do. And as soon as I launched Surge, I was offered a $180,000 a year position if I signed a non-compete and agreed to not work on any other project. They were blown away. They all bought Surge. It did what I thought, except for, of course, the tragedy that happens. And that's something that I'm still dealing with and trying to make right every single day. And I was stupid. That was my first project. That was the first time I had decided I want to create something and I have a vision for what to do. And I fucked up. And let me tell you, anyone up here that knows me as a developer knows I've gotten a million times better because of that hack. I can spot a vulnerability a million miles away. Someone can just theorize an idea to me and I can spot the vulnerability now. I consider myself like almost a blockchain security expert because of all of this that we've dealt with. And that was the stance I needed to take was pro security. When I was first learning about how to do smart contracts, I wasn't learning about how you hack them. It wasn't something that I was thinking about. And in hindsight, that's stupid. You're dealing with people's money. You should always be careful. You should always get everything audited. And that was the harshest lesson I've learned. And that's why everything we come out with now has an audit on it. And if we make sure it's safe before anything comes out, because that was the hardest lesson I've ever learned in my life. And I'm still paying it forward. And I'm not going to stop until it becomes a thing of the past.
Well,
And software
Mark,
developers build their portfolio all the time, especially when they're an independent consultant, right? Like they need to build their portfolio so that they can further their career. I mean, this as Mark just alluded to, like this was him building his portfolio, and it landed him a job offer at an amazing project like SafeMoon, right? And so, like asking him why he would do that. I mean, I don't know any software developers that are consultants that aren't trying to build their portfolio. I mean, that's how you progress.
I was definitely a consultant too. I was never offered a full-time position, and I was never made to sign a non-compete. I was definitely a consultant and brought on to help with the software development team and contract creation. That was terminated when that ended, but I did not break any sort of agreement that I had with SafeMoon at the time. I definitely never signed a non-compete saying I couldn't work on other things. In fact, several of the people in my circle were also CEOs of other projects and had heavy ties and other things. So it wasn't really this like at the time when I worked there, it wasn't as much of a tech company as it is now. They were very much at their early stages. And exactly like Capitalist said, I wasn't trying to start a new project and take holders from one into the other. If I was, I would have put a marketing fee or a dev cut in that token. I didn't put anything that made me money in the first token. There was nothing.
But do you do understand, Mark, how that looks? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Everything in this space is perception, Mark, and that's what everybody sees, especially when you just got put on the team, and then you launch this project. And I know you explained that. This is going to help the SafeMoon token, to help the whole ecosystem. This is going to help, right? I get that. But you got to understand, Mark, as well. And I don't want to continue to throw salt on this wound here. But, I really, really highly suggest, man. And like I said, I'm not as smart as you, man. But again, the first step, I believe, for you to get this right, I hope everything works out with you getting this right with the community as well. First step is, dude, you need to fully dox yourself to everyone. I really believe that. That's number one, dude. Because I mean, if you only doxing yourself to a certain few, I mean, you're still gonna have that little that this thing's gonna linger over you for the until you for the whole time you're into space until you completely dox yourself. That's just my 2 cents. I appreciate it. I really got to go now, and I thank you for everything that you clarified, man. I'm out.
No, absolutely. Thank you for asking those questions. You're 100% right on every. I agree with you. Everything you said had merit. And I agree with the doxing thing too. I've been reserving it because of threats to my life and things of the sort, but it's something I've wanted to do for a long, long time now. I've talked about it repeatedly. So, and I do think you're right. So thank you for coming up here and saying that, man. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day, by the way, as well. All right, who's next? I believe it was Tommy.
Hi, Mark. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello. I'm just going to preface this. I don't agree with that last guy talking about doxing yourself. I don't think you should be forced to do that. But ultimately, I don't want to talk about linger on the past and what's happened. I'd rather you talk about what's going on in the future. Like, what do you think? Like in a year's time, where do you see Surge? Like that's what I want to hear from you.
Personally, I see all of this being behind us in a year's time. Now, that might seem preposterous to some, but I believe in myself and I believe in what we've built, and I think that's absolutely possible. So that's a dream of mine too, that we can put all that behind us and only worry about the future. But what's coming in the future is why I'm so excited about where everything's going. The way we're building XUSD to move forward is to be this cross-chain powerhouse that isn't owned by us or anyone. We're setting up a DAO for it to be completely run and managed autonomously by the community, and so many things. So ideally, where XUSD is in a year is a full self-running, decentralized bank with every single possible DeFi utility that you could imagine built into it. And that's what we're moving towards. And I really am excited to give more info on this. And I would say that more information would be coming in around 2 weeks to a month in terms of exactly what's coming soon. So where I see XUSD, XSURGE, and everything, I see it not taking over, but earning a spot next to yield farming, next to traditional staking, next to lending, all these different services that DeFi provides. I imagine Surge being there as one of those utilities, not a token you can buy and sell, a way you can utilize your assets. So for instance, like Surge Bitcoin, you can stake your Bitcoin in and then stake it out when it earns on its own. So it's a way I see it becoming its own utility in the space, especially when we pump it up. Now we've never tried to pass ourselves off as a token project. What we believe we're building are utilities and services that the entire DeFi space can utilize for whatever token, whatever purpose they want.
Yeah, so, I mean, so where do you see yourself in that space? Like, what's your position? Like in a year's time, where do you think you like? How do you fit into this?
Oh boy, so I've already just in the last 6-7 months, I feel like I've grown tenfold, 100-fold in what I've been able to do. So I can't even imagine how confident I'll be in this space in a year in terms of what I can create and manage. I feel I don't know. I feel like I've really gotten this stuff down. So I'm excited to see how it grows and how it develops. I'm definitely not. I love DeFi and it's the best, but I would love to also work on blockchain development and everything like that. So in a year's time, I don't know for sure, but I would definitely suggest some blockchain theory coming out.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got a good team of devs over at XSURGE that have been wanting to build a blockchain as well. I know Malor dropped off, but he's been really excited about it, about the concepts and bringing some of Surge aspects into the blockchain. All right, so next was JY. Yeah, and then Fritter.
What's going on, guys? How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Hey, Mark, Jen, Surge. I really appreciate you guys holding the space. I have nothing but confidence in you and the team. I've been with you for a while, and I kind of follow you around the DeFi projects. My question, one about V3 for the Surge Fund. Not really a question for the V3, but I think it's a great idea. especially for somebody who only put like $200 in there. It'll be great to tweet out, "Hey, I was fully paid back," and excited to be able to say that to everybody because I know it's going to happen. But my question for V3 of XUSD, I think you said it was.
Well, no. There's no V3, or there's only V1 right now for XUSD, which is just its current implementation. There are some upgrades coming out. May or may not be in the form of a new version, but trying to build them all in to match the current one. But sorry, what were you saying?
So for me, one of the early investors in Surge and continued investor in Surge, and will continue to do so, especially with XUSD. I think it's great. All of my profits sit there until I want to jump into another DeFi project. I didn't win your giveaway for giving the green candles out, but you got to enter to do that. So, that's on me. But so what are the benefits to the current holders or your early adopters? What are you thinking to say for the first 5,000 XUSD holders, wallet holders? What incentive is there an incentive that you're thinking about rewarding us for being so confident in your abilities moving forward?
Oof. Makes me want to talk about the NFTs coming out.
Boom, that's all.
I think
that was good.
Should we wait on that, Mark? Should we wait on that?
I mean, well, I can hint on them. Basically,
Hint.
Yeah, it's a collection of NFTs that you can upgrade into different NFTs. The different NFTs unlock different services and abilities that you can get and receive for them, such as maybe a fraction of XUSD rewards, maybe some fee breaks, maybe some discounts on some of the other services, the 6 utilities that are coming out soon. All of these NFTs, there's going to be a lot of the individual ones that are released originally, and then people can build those into whatever type of NFT they want. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out and what's available, but that would be something tailored to the early adopters, considering we're still in our infancy, and the plan would be to do that before we create a huge push towards what we're bringing with this with these utilities for XUSD, because I believe that these with XUSD is the secret sauce that XUSD might be missing, and I think it's gonna be the exact catalyst we need to propel us forward. In my mind, at least, I've only divulged it to 3 or 4 people, but it's pretty crazy stuff. So that's the biggest thing that I'm excited for, are the new benefits that you can get, that you can do with your XUSD. And of course, if you were an early XUSD adopter, it's not necessarily like you're going to get a special kind of reward for that, but it's more like you will have had an earlier entry point, so you can take advantage more effectively of the different areas of the ecosystem. I really want to touch on some of them, but I know Mike is gonna yell at me and kick me off, even though he's on a burner now. Because
Mike is gonna mute DeFi Mark, and then everybody's gonna be pissed at me. But I'm standing guard on that. Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Thank you again. Keep up the good work. I hear there's projects that need devs out there that could use your help. So we're all a family. We're all in DeFi space, and we all want to get what's that say, rise together or whatever. Also, yeah, first 25 holders, 2,500 holders, get that airdrop NFT. No, I'm just playing. Take care, guys. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks for coming up.
That's another thing. Like, Mark, if I could just say, we don't have anything particularly. I mean, certain members of the community do, but we want DeFi to succeed. We want DeFi as a whole to succeed, and that includes all projects. And if we can provide utility to some of those projects to help them succeed, that's what we want to do. There's no ill will towards any individual project here, at least not by those of us on the management team and those of us that are the face forward of the project. I just want that made perfectly clear, because we want all of them to succeed.
Absolutely. And this utility, these 6 utilities that are coming forth to the XSURGE ecosystem, considering XSURGE is just a wrapping of any token, it can be utilized by every single token out there. Every single one of them. SafeMoon, Vault, Useless, and any token out there, you can access these utilities and use them and add it to your token as a list of things you can do, which is really pretty cool. And I can't wait to to give more info on all of them. But exactly as Mike said, we love every project in the space. We just want DeFi to be noticed by the masses. That's our whole goal. That's why we do it in such a way where anyone can create one of our Surge tokens and use it for their token, for their ecosystem, for whatever they need, any wants or services. And yeah, you just drove that home. That's why we try to do little things like the Green Day challenge, the Share the Green challenge, where since XUSD only goes up and crypto was going down, we had a little 3-day challenge where we were like, sell some XUSD and go buy your favorite cryptocurrency dip for a chance to win 100 XUSD. Little things like that, because we love DeFi and we love crypto. And the whole goal behind XUSD isn't to praise the US dollar. We all hate the US dollar, every single one of us. But we've realized its potential to not fluctuate when the market crashes. In the short, like over time, the US dollar drops, but over a 1 month period, you won't notice its effect. And you could be able to move in and out of your currencies and take profits in a way. So that's what we try to promote with XUSD. It's not a competition to other DeFi projects. It's not a way to praise the fiat US dollar by any means. It's a utility. It's a utility.
And as a funny aside, we had the Sell XUSD challenge, and we gained something like 400 wallets. So people were a little bit hesitant to part with their XUSD.
Yeah, it was the least. We had the least amount of participants in that challenge. No one wanted to buy their favorite dips. I mean, I did. Full transparency. I use XUSD to hedge against volatility. If I think something's going wrong in the market or things are going sour, or I make profit in one currency, I'll move it into XUSD. Eventually, donate it to Surge funds. What I've been doing. If you follow my wallets at all, you'll see that. But yeah,
Mark, could I just ask a question that other people had that they wanted me to potentially bring up for here?
Sure.
There was concern when selling, potentially adding something to the DApp so that when you sell, the DApp could potentially pick the more optimal way to sell, whether it's to BUSD directly to the contract or to sell on PancakeSwap. And is that something that people can look forward to in terms of a new DApp feature?
Yeah, absolutely. That functionality would be very, very easy to put in the DApp. Right now, what we're just going to add is a little warning that tells you if you're using PancakeSwap or not. Because one of the confusing things about our DApp is that it does use PancakeSwap for certain types of swaps. If you're going from an underlying asset to its surged version, that doesn't use PancakeSwap. Or if you're selling Surge for its underlying, that also doesn't. And that is slippage free and price impact free. But if you're going from, say, XUSD to BNB, that does use PancakeSwap. So you do have to account for PancakeSwap's price, potential slippage and price impact and everything like that. So we're definitely going to throw up for now a little warning that says, hey, this swap uses PancakeSwap. Make sure it's not a bad idea, more or less. And then we will be factoring in the ability for everyone to choose their optimal path. We're trying to build some arbitrage into the DApp itself, which will eventually become the DEX. So that's something that's really exciting as well. But yeah, that's a great question.
Hey Mark, I'm gonna hop off, but just really quickly, I just wanted to say, really awesome to see you so reinvigorated. The reason that I came up here today, and the reason I'm so fired up and passionate, and tell people to fuck themselves sometimes when even though that's probably not the most professional thing to do, is because the fact that Mark is brilliant, and that's how I got attracted to Mark and how I wanted to follow his projects. But the reality is that the reason I'm as passionate and inspired by you, Mark, is because of how much integrity and honor you show and what you are doing for the community and the fact that you're giving back. I think I've said this in other spaces that I told Mark just to give up and create an anonymous account and start a new project because nobody was going to ever forgive him, and he's still here. And that says something about my character, but it certainly doesn't say anything about his, other than that he's one of the most honorable people that I've ever met. And I'm in awe of you, Mark. I'm inspired by you every day. I'm appreciative of what you're doing for the space, and I'm glad I can call you a friend. So I'm gonna hop off, but thank you.
Wow, thanks, Capitalist. Love you, bro. I appreciate that, man. All right, so I think we got DeFi Fritter, and then we got Lunar, and then Daniel. Or sorry, Jen's been having her hand up too. We'll squeeze you in, but go Fritter. You've been waiting for a while.
All right, thank you very much. Hey, I just came on here. I'm listening, and I just wanted to tell you, you've always from the very first thing you launched. It didn't turn out so well, but we won't rehash. From the very first thing, you've always had like my 100% confidence and support, and I just thank you, like everybody else has been doing, for being here, trying to make the space better, trying to make people's lives better, and the commitment that you have to everybody in your community is bar none, at least tied with Jen's to her community. So, we're all one big community, and you guys are just amazing. You're amazing. Your team's amazing. I just wanted to give you tons of kudos because, every time I hear anybody bring up past or, you are a gentleman. You are a totally stand-up dude. The way you respond to people, the way you are just happy to answer even their less than stellar questions, or the way they ask them in a very rude or sarcastic way, and then they say, "But I'm not trying to say anything bad, Mark. I mean, you're great." But, when you have to, quantify it with a but, you're not trying to give anybody kudos. You're just being a jerk. And you're amazing. And your response to everybody actually inspires me to not, when I see somebody post something that makes me angry, I don't cuss them out online. Instead, I try to just tell them, "Hey, listen, do your research. This is being done. This guy's amazing. Do your research before you post BS." Yeah, I toned myself down because of you, because of your responses. If you can do it, who am I to not? Who am I to not show that level of compassion to other people? So thank you very much, and I'll just relinquish the floor back to everybody else. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Fritz. Thanks for coming up, man. All right. Yeah, thank you. And I think Lunar's up next.
Hey guys, how we doing today?
Oh, it's another day. We're doing.
You beauty, Monday here in Australia, so getting stuck in the bit of work, but just wanted to dive in here, guys, and just express my gratitude for Mark, the courage that you've shown through all this, mate. You stepping up like this, you fielding that question a few back now from Safe Moon Smoke or some such, mate. The way you step into the ring, the way you present yourself is nothing short of fantastic. You have integrity, honor, and you've stood by your word all the way through this, mate. And for the silent majority who are out there, I just want to say thank you for that. All the work that you're doing here is contributing to DeFi. Myself and my good friend Rick put on a series of Twitter Spaces all dedicated to Unify DeFi. And what I see you guys building, and once again, thanks for coming on to our spaces a couple weeks back there. That was absolutely awesome. Might have been last week, kind of lose track of time here. But
oh, did we lose you, Lunar?
I think he's getting swallowed up by the blockchain. Want to just give him a couple seconds, Mark?
Yeah, Lunar, we'll just give you a few seconds. I definitely want to hear what you had to say, my man. I think you're in the blockchain right now, though. I think we had Daniel was up next, and then Fingrad, or Jay next, and then Fingrad. But if Lunar comes back, we'll give him the floor.
Okay, should I wait for him, or what do you think?
Sorry, guys.
I think you're good. Oh, never mind. I lied.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, guys. Not sure how far I got through that. My daughter was trying to FaceTime me at the same time. She wants me to hop online and play Roblox. But where I was going with this, guys, is with our movement to unify DeFi and provide an opportunity for all of these projects to come together. I firmly believe, Mark, that you and the team here are building the fundamental blocks for version 2 of DeFi. And I just wanted to express my gratitude for that. And what you guys are doing is rewriting the space. You guys are providing the fundamental tools there, which are going to enable future projects and current projects to evolve to another level. And when you look at how reflections are done, how tokenomics are done, what you guys are building there is going to provide the pathway for security for people going forward. And mate, you guys are astounding. Keep it up. Love the work, and look forward to hearing more from you going forward.
Awesome. Thanks, Lunar. I appreciate that, my man. Thanks for coming up. All right, Daniel, the floor is yours now, man.
Okay, cool. How's it going, Mark? So my name is Daniel. I was a victim of the Surge hack, and honestly, up until that point, I haven't really paid much attention to your project. But I never at any point thought that you were a culprit or had anything to do with this. It just seems like something that shit happens, man. And obviously, we're all making our own investments, taking our own risks. So it's like it's really on me personally. That's how I feel. But one thing I want to say is that I want to commend you for continuing to follow through with this project and support it. And now that I'm kind of like getting back into the mix of it, I don't understand it much. I'll be honest with you, and I'm really curious. So, is your videos that are currently up on the website still relevant to what your project is right now? For example, XUSD, and now I hear you saying that you have like 6 catalysts that are coming up now that are to help grow this ecosystem. Will you be updating those videos or adding more videos to kind of go over it? Because me, as like a casual investor, I don't know much about like yield farming and this and that and how So I know that your videos were very helpful, especially for me investing in SafeMoon, and the way you were able to explain, tokenomics and how they could have an impact over long term.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm definitely going to make more updated videos with some of the new things coming out. That XUSD video that's out now, that's definitely not updated. It gives a very broad overview of what it does. It doesn't really go into detail at all, but it was more made so that people could share it around it and learn in one video, like basically what it can do just at a base level. The yield farming and all of the new things coming out are definitely add-ons and require new videos. But in theory, they're not too difficult to use. Some of the things that are coming out are tailored only for developers, and other things are tailored for everyday people to use. So it's going to be a little bit of a mix of both, and I'm definitely going to have information and education out there for all of those things. So yeah, that's definitely a great point. I sometimes get swept up writing contracts, talking to people, trying to fix stuff up that I sometimes don't have much time for videos, but that is a big thing I need to keep doing. And the Surge team makes sure to tell me that on a bi-daily basis. It feels like.
Oh yeah, I bet. And like I said, it's just because you have a lot of casual investors in here that are, not gonna say I'm not tech savvy, because I do run software services for a living, but at the same time, I'm not like that in the know with all these, like for example, yield farming and this and that. I don't really know much about it.
In
So
essence, just a quick one-sentence rundown. A yield farm is where you lend your money out to exchanges, decentralized exchanges, and they give you returns based on whoever swaps in those pools, and sometimes extra returns. So all yield farming does is you can actually move your assets and put them onto an exchange, and you can get passive income for doing so. There's a lot of yield farms out in DeFi. Ours is definitely not new. Like the yield farming style has been around for a while, but in essence, that's all it is. It's like what the banks do. They lend their money out and they get a return on it. Yield farming has extra different risks associated with it, but yeah, so that in essence, that's all it is.
And is that the core feature that you guys are using right now to the growth that you're showing? That I think I'm not exactly sure where it's at right now from when you launched it, but is that what's contributing to that growth mainly?
So it's definitely an additional feature. So we launched back November 8th, and we launched it was a dollar per token then, and it's up to about $1.15 internally and $1.17 around on PancakeSwap. So it's had some decent growth, but that definitely does have a lot to do with the yield farms. But it's not the yield farms themselves that contribute to it. Moving XUSD in and out of the farms is actually tax free. What ends up helping is why we needed the yield farms in the first place. So what the yield farm does is, as I said before, you lend your assets out to an exchange and you get paid a return for doing that. So what our yield farm does is you pair XUSD with other tokens on PancakeSwap or other dexes, and you get a return from XUSD's tax. Now, the reason we needed it on these exchanges is because every time the price of one of the coins goes up or down that XUSD is paired with, XUSD gets immediately traded into that. It's through arbitrage trading. and that ends up giving extra volume to XUSD. So even though our liquidity pool, our BNB XUSD liquidity pool only has around, $300,000 in it, it's generated over $3 million in volume already for XUSD. And we expect that to rise with the amount of liquidity that's paired. So in a sense, yes, the yield farming helps us enable a more consistent volume over time through arbitrage. And it's one of the several parts of our ecosystem that leverages that ability. The whole goal where we're going with XSURGE and XUSD is giving it a stable return, even if nobody buys it or sells it. Like to the point where nobody even needs to trade it, and it's going to be generating a return. That's the whole
Yeah,
thing.
that's what's super interesting, honestly. Like I really love that idea because I mean, just relying on someone selling and then buying, it's like, you get that pyramid scheme kind of thing where it's like, it's always like, okay, well then I just have to be the last one to sell, right, to get the most gains. But at the same time, the fact that you're creating utility that is going to, be able to give people passive returns, and it's not counting on just all of us holding and nobody selling or waiting for people to sell,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, if there were no yield farms, no liquidity pools, it would just be a game of diamond hands, Surge. It'd be people going in and waiting for other people to go out and go in, and etc. And that is a cool model, but it's definitely not sustainable. So what we're trying to do is give sustainability and an expected APY, as we've been calling it, to the token itself, so that if you buy in, you can at least know, even if nobody buys it or sells it, you can at least expect this, or whatever this is will be. We don't know yet, but definitely looking to up this number as much as possible.
Okay, one last thing. I know you've been on the floor for a while here, but so to this point, you guys, I guess you're saying that it's impossible to ever have a down day. Then I guess so. It literally can only go up. Is that like? I know you guys have made that statement on your Twitter and all that, but with all the pairing that's going on, and I know that you guys are doing arbitrage through your systems. Like it's impossible to take a negative on a day.
Yeah, so the way that the XSURGE protocol works, the price on PancakeSwap or different exchanges, that can fluctuate a little bit. It can be up or down about 2% above or below the real price. That's just because PancakeSwap and stuff, they have a fee that they charge when you swap on their platform. So it limits the arbitrage opportunity. But the internal price of XUSD, the value each XUSD token has. So the whole concept behind 100% back liquidity is every single token has its own independent value that it's worth. It's not like a collection of tokens has a value. One XUSD has value associated with it, and that value always rises. And there's actually require statements in all of the functions of XUSD that say if the price does not go up on this transaction, cancel the whole thing and revert it like it never happened. So technically, XUSD requires that every single time it's moved, its price rises.
Got it. Well, thank you so much for answering these questions. And like I said, man, keep up with your doing. You're doing a great job, and I'm sure that in no time you're gonna have everybody paid back. And I'm sure that in no time, man, this is just gonna be a thing in the past.
That's definitely the goal, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for coming up, bro.
No problem, man. Thanks.
Hey guys, I just wanted to chime in really quick. I just have a really quick question. This will take 2 seconds. So I tested positive for COVID back in October. And before that, my stocks were going through the moon. My crypto was going great. And then ever since I tested positive, everything's been taken. Do you see a correlation between people testing positive for COVID and their portfolio going down?
Well, I've tested positive for COVID 4 times now, to be honest. And mine's gone up and down both times. So I wouldn't say directly maybe, but I mean, maybe you're sickly, you're not really looking at the charts or something like that. Or yeah, maybe it's just a stroke of bad luck, because I mean, everything started kind of going downhill when that got introduced. Not necessarily from the market standpoint, but just life in general.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because it was crazy. I tested positive, my portfolio was going great. And then ever since there, it's just been in the red. So I don't know if anyone's ever experienced this, but that's what I'm going through. That's what I'm going.
Damn. I'm sorry, my man. If you want, you can pick up some XUSD. Its internal price market maker makes sure that it can't go down in price whenever it's traded. So if you're sick of seeing red, that's always an option. It doesn't go up by much, but it at least shows some green in your portfolio. on a day to day, which is always nice to see.
How are we feeling about Solana moving forward?
I got some. It's at a good discount now. I wasn't I didn't think it was a great idea when it was at like $240, $230, but
yeah,
maybe now that
you think it's a buy at this point though.
Yeah, now that it's pulled back a bit, I think it would absolutely be a good call. What they have going on there with the way that their EVM works is pretty amazing.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for the insight. Sorry to interrupt. That's what I've been going through recently, so I just want to see if anyone else has experienced that, and appreciate the time, guys.
Absolutely, man. Have a good one. All right, who is next? Maybe I think Jay next. Yep, and then FinGrad, and then we got Market or Troy. But yeah, Jay next. Feel free.
Yeah. About the V3 Surge Fund.
Hey, yep. Sorry. What about the V3? You're gonna go, Jay next. Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you there. Your mic's muted, by the way, just in case you.
Hello.
There we go. Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah. So is there anything we have to do on our part in terms of like adding a new contract, or is it the same process as the V2?
Yeah, it'll be the same process. It'll just be a token that gets sent to your wallet, and you'll be able to see that grow. And the amount that shows in your wallet is the amount of BNB you can claim back. Same kind of process, and you can just transfer the token to yourself to claim that BNB. The main changes coming out are people that lost under 0.1. They're going to be able to get directly airdropped theirs, considering they won't have enough to cover their gas fee. Everyone else is going to be split into different categories and groups, just so that the whales, the top 30 Surge Fund victims, don't continue to take 95% of all the donations, because that was quickly drowning out everyone else, the thousands of other people that maybe lost like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 BNB, something like that.
Okay, yeah, great. I was just making sure, we didn't have to add another contract or something, because I have the Surge Fund token and stuff, and I can see how much is in there. So, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So the main problem with the V2... So, sorry. Yeah, I was just saying the main problem with the V2 was that there's still like 62 BNB in there.
Easier because, pretty complicated.
Yeah, we'll definitely have a write-up for V3, everything that needs to be done when we do release it. The code's already done. We're just going to test it a little bit. I would say it could be out within the end of the week, and we'll definitely post all the information about that. I'll definitely post it from my Twitter as well. Sorry, man, you're in the blockchain a little bit. I'm trying to pick out certain words.
Oh yeah, I'm done. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Okay, awesome. No worries, man. That was a great question too. Yeah, so the way that we set up the new Surge funds is it actually is a token that shows up in your wallet. You can't actually send the token anywhere. It's not a real token. You can just trick wallets into thinking it's a token, so it shows up. And it's just to make it easy, so you don't need to go to a dApp and connect your wallet to claim it. All you have to do is just transfer the token to yourself, and it'll just send you your claim amount at that time. And yeah, we're hoping that this method of splitting up the BNB into tiers will allow a little bit better percentage returns for the majority of the people. Absolutely. Something we're excited about releasing. We've been ideating on the perfect Surge fund for a little while now. Okay, so I believe FinGrad, you were up next.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
So Mark, first of all, I'm a graduate student, and I'm pursuing a degree in finance. And I have a capstone project coming. It's a portfolio project. So I was discussing with my professors and everybody to include XUSD in my capstone project. And they kind of agreed with that. Like I pretty much explained, how mechanics of it and everything. So I got two questions for you, if you could help me with my, the portfolio math behind it.
Absolutely.
So the first question would be like in stocks, when like finding the expected return, right? We have so many metrics. We can use, the free cash flows, CAPM, and everything, right? So what metric could I use to find the expected return for XUSD? With like you said, like new things are coming up, and my capstone project is due in like 4 months. So would you be like explaining further how that works, or what can I use to like get help with that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So right now, with the current version, with none of these new instruments coming out that will help it, the rate of return of XUSD is defined exactly as volume divided by market cap. It depends on the tax taken from the volume that's burnt. That amount is the amount of BUSD that's given back to the contract to inflate that ratio. The price of each XUSD token is defined as the total supply of BUSD in the contract, the total amount of stablecoins, divided by the total amount of XUSD. So if there were 110 stablecoins and 100 XUSD, each XUSD would be $1.10. And the rate of return on that is you count, you take the volume and look at the fees that is applied to that volume. And those fees are basically BUSD not leaving the contract or getting added into the contract relative to the total supply. So at the current rate, it would be the volume, the amount of volume you get when you factor out the fee that's burnt, which is 80% of 0.25%, versus the total amount of BUSD that's locked up inside the contract. This metric will remain true for the other things that are introduced, but it's not going to be necessarily volume based, because the things that we're introducing don't rely on volume at all to generate this BUSD flow into the contract. So it will get a little bit more complex when that time comes. But at the end of the day, what raises the value are more BUSD being in the contract than XUSD's total supply. So the rate it grows is dependent on how much BUSD is accrued in there relative to how many new tokens are minted. And so if you can track that, right now that metric is as easily summed up as volume over market cap, but there will be some extra things in there eating BNB or BUSD into that pool over time. So it will grow the APY, the expected return, but it's going to be a little bit harder to track. Absolutely. I'll definitely, if you want to shoot me a DM or something, I can absolutely help you when we get to that point, do the necessary math to get the exact values.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. So the other thing would be, so what's the growth rate that I can use for the volume? Do you have like a guess number, maybe like 3%, 4% that I could like project the expected return that way, if that makes sense?
So in terms of so right now, based on the rate of return right now, I believe is about an 89% APR and an 124% APY based on the current volume and the current supply. So that's based on all of the rates of returns that we've seen previously, kind of compounded together to get an average rate of return, and we apply that over a year period. And the most important thing is to use the compounding interest formula, because XUSD is constantly compounding itself. It's not something you need to reinvest into. Just holding it reinvests it always. So it would be the A times 1 plus R raised to the NT, that kind of equation. That's how you would calculate the APY, which would be the ROI of XUSD. So you would just need a volume metric. There's some it's tough to generate the volume of XUSD too, because PancakeSwap and CoinMarketCap, they go off of what is traded on the DEXs and the exchanges, when there's the majority of the trading happening through the token itself, from from minting new tokens and destroying the tokens to redeem that underlying asset, and that volume is not tracked. So getting an accurate guesstimate will be a little bit difficult, but I'll absolutely help you out with that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I think with like the future value formula you just said, I think the APY is coming up to like 200% something ish, like around the ballpark. So my second question mark would be, because I was just talking to my professors about this, right? On paper, XUSD is a risk-free instrument, right? It's a risk-free product because it does not have any systematic risk. But however, there is still like hidden risks, right? That could happen. So me and my professor, we were just discussing this, that what makes a risk-free instrument is insurance. That it's insured by something, right? So I don't know a lot about Solidity or DeFi or anything. What if there was like a contract that acted as an insurance that backed up another asset in a way? like something in like a DeFi insurance that could have like multiple back, like one asset or multiple assets, just in case. So it could make this contract like a fully risk free, like it could be like equivalent of treasury bill at that point. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great idea. And actually, Malord, our senior DApp developer, he's brought up the idea of insuring the total supply often, insuring the assets that are backed. Right now, we don't necessarily, since we don't have any funding allocated to the company, we don't have, or we're not a company, but to the group, we have no real way to get this insurance because it would be rather costly, especially as the amount of BUSD grows. But that policy of having an insurance token is a very good idea and one that I think you should roll with, especially as you continue your, financial career. I think that's a great idea. Honestly, if you could decentralize that insurance policy, I think many, many, many big projects in the space would use that. So that's actually a really cool. You got my brain thinking now with that one. We are trying to. So basically, the main insurance we're trying to build right now is trust in the protocol. So we already got it audited by Certic. Those results are being posted either tonight or tomorrow. But we're also going to go out and get this audited by other projects, other companies. Just make sure. So right now, the response we got is it's solid as a rock. It's bulletproof in terms of possible exploits or things that could happen. That was the results that Certic gave us, and they're a very good and respected team of engineers. They have hundreds of engineers, honestly. So that's kind of the insurance we're going for now because it's more affordable. But if there was this DeFi insurance metric, that would absolutely be something I would consider using. So I think you should actually run with that, man. I don't know if you've thought about it, but
Thank you, though, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. But I do have, believe it or not, like I have friends who work in investment banks and everything. Like there's a way I could actually insure my asset, the XUSD asset, by a third party. That's possible. That's very legal. That's what I was thinking. Like I don't know enough about Solidity. I mean, I know Python. I can do a little bit coding, but I was just sitting and I was just thinking like, what if there was a product in DeFi that insured everything? That would make projects like this like pretty much risk free. And imagine this like 200% APY compared to a treasury bill of 2%. Like that would change everything when you really think about that.
absolutely, Malord. Did you want to cover that at all? I know you've been talking a lot about insuring XUSD or at least the prospects of it.
Yeah, definitely. Hello?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay.
You sound normal too, which is awesome.
Okay, thank God. I'll say it before I get booted. So basically, we've been trying to think of a way that maybe we can't do it right now because it probably will cost. But basically, the backing asset is sitting there, and very similar to how the banks have an FDIC insurance. It would be really awesome if we can get the backing asset all insured as well, so that not only is it 100% liquidity backed, it's fully insured. And we're looking at different possible avenues for that because what we really like, and it's been said 100 times up here, but what we want for XUSV to be is a backing asset for other, for other projects, for people to use this as like an alternative kind of bank account and all that type of stuff. And having that kind of insurance type of situation, even though there is no vulnerability right now, or even though there is no vulnerability in the code, of like how it's written and stuff like that, having that insurance will just make people feel like safe, and especially if we can, if something for whatever reason were to happen, we can then just tap into the insurance and then get everyone paid back so that we don't have something like a surge fund that we would have to eventually pay back. It's something that we're actively looking into, and it's something that I can see it happening in the future. We just need to grow more, to be honest.
Yeah, before we get to that insurance policy. But yeah, for right now, the main insurance that we're putting in is making sure the protocol is as solid as possible and pretty much getting as many sets of eyes on it as we can to verify that it's solid as a rock. And right now, we're extremely confident in the protocol. The results we got from Certic were amazing. I'm really excited to publish them. The findings they found were either nonsensical or literally they were like, it sounded like they were shilling it in their report. It was pretty funny. So I'm excited for that to go live within the next day or two for everyone.
Yeah. Also, I just wanted to just to let everyone know that in terms of the trying to basically just going back to the whole what happened with the hack type of thing, there actually is a cybersecurity report written up in regards to exactly what happened during the exploit. So, and that like it's on the Discord. If someone can post that for everyone here, that'd be amazing. But that shows kind of a breakdown, like one for one, exactly what happened during it. Goes to prove that like the things that you hear out there, if they're not backed by proof, it comes from a place of emotion. And unfortunately, a lot of the FUD that we're hearing in regards to like, with the hack and not being paid back and stuff like that, it goes against the proof that's out there. And yeah, and also, by the way, the team has been affected too. I lost $1,000 in Surge BNB, but I'm still here. I have full confidence in what we're doing. Me being on the team also, like, we're talking about upgrades with the Surge Fund and how we're going to, help everyone. And we've been doing a lot of research into like, ways that we can accelerate the growth and, things like that. So I just really want to assure to everyone that you're not alone. We also were affected, and we're trying to make it right.
Yeah, I mean, no one really cares about this. I'm not trying to say anyone should care about this. I forgot to tell too when that happened. I was so overcome with everything that was going on. I just mine got snatched up by that guy, by the hacker as well. Yeah, we've all been through it, especially everyone in the leadership team at Surge now. We were all part of it. We all witnessed it. We went through it. And that's why I know the team we have now is some of the most badass people in DeFi, because the amount of shit these guys have taken and gone through because of their belief in this project is, it leaves me speechless. I mean, you guys are all the best. And we're gonna show the world what we can do. And I'm really excited for some of these new things that are coming out. I really want to drop bombs, but Mike's still here, right next to me, ready to slash me if I do. It's coming soon, guys. I'll weasel my way out to spill the beans soon, but we're gonna protect this IP for now because I really think it's a full game changer. Like XUSD itself was a game changer. This is utilizing everything that makes DeFi great and putting it into XUSD, more or less. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Can I say the last thing before I leave?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mark, first of all, I've made mistakes personally, that have cost a lot. Everybody has their own opinions. I also lost the money, but here's the thing. The big picture is innovation, man. The innovation, the whole thing, I can't even imagine what you went through, man. Like, first of all, you have my respect. Like this, I've made mistakes where like there were multi-millions that I did the wrong audit job. Like I've made mistakes before, but this is where we grow, man. This is how we build more. This is so instead. So what I want to say is that, Mark, I really respect you, and I'm trusting your project with my graduation pretty much, and so that means something. That really means something when you think about that. It's 4 years of work in graduate school, and I'm trusting your project, and you should know that there are people that believe in you, like really, and like I have friends who are SEC consultants, people who work in Wall Street. Like every time I tell them about this project, it raises eyebrows. It does every time, but they don't want to talk about it. Like they know it's new, they know it's gonna change things. So all I could say is, man, just keep doing what you're doing, and I know you're gonna do great things. And I'm very happy and grateful that I'm part of it. And I'm an early adopter.
Hell yeah.
And I'm very happy with that. And thank you, man. Really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, bro. Make sure you link me that paper too. I definitely want to see that. I want to see what you come up with and everything, and I want to see what you get at it at the end too. That makes me so excited. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, you got to link me that. We'll definitely share that around. That's incredible. Is that your that's for your full 4 years? That's your ending thesis, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that is my ending thesis pretty much. And the best part was that my clients were actually the pension funds. So XUSD is perfect because the standard deviation is technically zero. So there's no volatility.
That's awesome, man. I can't wait to see that, bro. Best of luck to you, and don't hesitate to reach out if you need help with any of the math, any of the, the inner workings, any of the technicals. Like, we'll gladly help you out. Either me, Malord, Blue, the XSURGE Twitter right here to my left. Any of us, man. Never hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. And hopefully, I'll ping you up in March or in May, when I finish the degree. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. So I think Troy has been here waiting for a while too, and then we just have a district that just came up.
Hey, Mark, thanks for having me up. First of all, when I think of your name, man, I just think of gratitude. I got introduced to you when you were doing your Safe Moon videos on reflections. And it may seem like years ago, but I mean, for me, that was it just, a couple of months ago. And it's really, it just opened my eyes, one, of how intelligent you are, but, more importantly, just what DeFi could be done correctly. And so it really motivated me to get involved even more into a project I love with the Safe Moon community. But I have you to thank for that. And it's been a great, I've been able to put my family in a situation in the future that's going to be really enjoyable. So I'm grateful for your intelligence. I'm grateful there. I've been involved in crypto since 2017, and I've been part of projects that were real rug pulls. And man, I mean, people don't know this because maybe they've lost some money for now, but no one of those projects has ever reached out to me, has ever started a fund, has ever said, "Hey, I'm going to figure this out, make it right." And I'm just blown away that you're 21 years old, man. And it's just the future, your future is just amazing. And I encourage you to keep figuring this out. And yeah, right now there's some people that are unhappy. I get that. And and things could have been done. I don't know. It's beyond my pay grade, but I'm just telling you, there's a lot of people who just know that you're part of the future. And we just want to encourage you to keep doing it. And I know if you had a project tomorrow that ballooned and millions of dollars are made, that you would make everyone whole. If not, you would have gone away and changed your identity, but you're doing it the best you know how, and I respect that. There, I reached out to your attorney, maybe with something that could help. He'll have a chance just to watch a little video I sent him, and maybe he and I can have a conversation. I'd like to be part of a solution for our Safe Moon family and for you. And I just want to say this in closing, man. I just know, with DeFi being the future and you guys proving that DeFi can truly change the trajectory of humanity in so many ways. And I mean that emotion, I mean that your name is going to be a part of some of the best projects to come in the future because of your passion on this. So thanks for having me up, Mark. Keep doing that daily battle, and you're on the right track, man. And we, a lot of us really believe in you, bud. So thank you for having me up.
Absolutely. No, thanks for coming up, Troy. I appreciate all of that, man. I'll keep doing my best, doing what I'm doing, trying to make it right for everyone. And District, I think you're up next.
Hey, what's up, man? I was affected by the hack, lost about 18 BNB. I think that's where it was. You come off as very bright, that you could easily been affected by this rug. No, I don't want to say rug or hack, but if you as bright as you come off as, I also look at it as you bright enough to pull this off. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not hearing a lot of emphasis as far as this. I'm hearing like cyberlink investigations and these people check this, but when y'all talk about the FBI, kind of get like one line response. Like, was there actually a report made? Like how many? I'm sure it's like a few agencies you can go to, like for different reasons, Secret Service, IRS, tax reasons. But was there an actual report made to the FBI, and is there a status you can share?
Absolutely. If you actually go into my tweets, you'll see our attorney at the time. He wasn't necessarily hired by us, but he was a consultant that came up to help us because we had a team of volunteers at the time. He did submit a report to the FBI, also to Cipher Blades. He made both an oral and a digital report to the FBI, both over the phone and an IC3 document that he had shared. And at the end of the day, if you can believe whatever you want, if you think that there's some conspiracy here, all I got to say is watch where the BNB comes from for the search fund. You'll see it comes from my wallet, from projects that I'm trying to ride up and down and make as much money as I can to donate to it. Um, to the state of where the BNB ended up from the hack, you can follow that bread trail as far as you want. Eventually, maybe the hacker will be foolish enough to withdraw the money into a real account, like a bank account, and eventually be caught for his actions. Right now, what they typically do is they shuffle the money around for years before they ever try to make it see the light of day again. So I don't expect him to move that anytime soon. But all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you can see where all of it's coming from. It's coming from myself. It's coming from the projects I create. It's coming from anything I can do to try to help that. So if that's not proof enough, then I don't know what else to say. But I'm gonna keep doing my best regardless.
So, do you think the individuals who lost money, should we reach out ourselves and get this snowball rolling fast, or whatever agencies, you know?
I mean, that's entirely up to everyone. That's entirely a right that you guys have as you know, human beings, not only American citizens. I would encourage that. We tried our best. We got met with silence from the FBI in terms of a report, but that's how they operate. If they're not going to tell you how their investigation's going, they're going to contact you if they need you. Otherwise, they're going to do whatever they do on their end, and you're kind of in the dark about it. I would encourage everyone to do the same for any reason. Knowing how the attack took place and hearing what the leading blockchain security agency said in response, I don't think it'll yield much fruit just based on how the hack took place and how the attacker hid and shuffled around his funds. But there's absolutely no point in not trying. And we tried our best, and we continue to do whatever we can. But I don't think that it's likely that we're going to be able to recover the same BNB. I think we're going to need to generate it ourselves. So if that does happen, if we were able to get it back, that would be the biggest miracle, because I'm not banking on that. I'm banking on doing it myself and paying it off myself one way or another. But yeah, man, I mean, if everyone gets on and starts calling the FBI and starts trying to get to the bottom of this thing and it happens, that would be the biggest miracle in the entire world. I can't even. I'm not even gonna let myself believe that that's a possibility, because I don't want to stop grinding at it to try to help myself. Um, but yeah, no, that's definitely a great point.
Yeah,
I'd say you're welcome to call the FBI. Every single person is as well. And maybe if they get enough ears about it, if they get enough people reaching out to them, they'll actually do something about it. I have no idea if they are doing something. All you can do is submit the report, and they take it from there. They're not going to tell you, yeah, we're investigating this. They're just going to reach out to you if they need questions or if they need you to answer anything. So maybe you're right. If enough people do reach out and make that claim, maybe they'll actually, be like, okay, maybe something's real here and we can actually look into it. But so far, our team reached out, and I believe a few others did as well. This one guy came up earlier and said he made a report on his end. And he was a lawyer, and he said that everyone here has the right to do the exact same if they needed to.
so have they reached back out to you?
No, we have not received any input from the FBI. Cypherblades did. We reached out to Cypherblades. I hope that's the correct name. I don't know. Yeah, it is Cypherblades. We reached out to them. We got we told them everything they needed to know. We supplied them with all the transaction hashes and all the wallets that were affected. And they said it would cost more money trying to find out who this guy is than was actually lost in the attack, because of how sophisticated the services he used were, such as Tornado.
Yeah. But then it's like your reputation is on the line. So, like, everything you talking about, these other projects, how great they are, it still has your name attached to it. So for us that lost money, or people to hear that, we look at you as a liability. Like, even when you associate yourself, comment or anything with Safe Moon, it's just like state fall back, you know.
No,
So
I think I can definitely help SafeMoon, and I can help the whole DeFi space. If you don't believe in me or you think of me as a liability, there's no need. I've never tried to like tell new people they have to get into my projects at all. You can absolutely stay from a safe distance and watch, but anyone that was affected is going to be made whole, and I'm not going to stop till that happens. That's just the bottom line. So whatever the feelings or emotions are in the meantime, I can't control that. That's up to you and what you believe to be right. But I'm going to keep doing me. And if I just gave up and said, yeah, no one's going to believe in me anyway, no one would get anything back. So I'm going to keep doing everything I can.
So what's the time frame you think of you doxing yourself that keep people from assuming you're somebody that you may not? Because it's like that name rolling out here, Mark. I don't even want to say the name, but and that give us confidence. Like, all right, any project going forward, it's like, all right, we got his name stamped to it. I know.
Yeah.
I say like you get death threats, and I'm sure like a lot of people, I'm sure like John get them, or but it's like your reputation's on the line. I'm sure you can take measures into protecting yourself, and your team probably want to move forward. I'm sure everybody want to move past this.
That's you're absolutely right. Doxing myself would help a lot with that. It's been a personal thing. I've been trying to not only necessarily build up the confidence, but like you said, try to make sure I protect myself. And there are measures I can take to ensure that happens, even when I am doxxed. And I have taken those measures. I am well protected. But you're right. It was my full plan. You can ask anyone on the Surge team to dox myself about 2 days before the hack happened. It was my original roadmap, and it got halted short. It's definitely part of the plan is for me to dox myself. There's nothing I'm trying to hide. You'll notice when you look into me, I'm 22 now, not 21. I'm a 22-year-old kid from Vermont, and I'm Italian. That's what you'll find about me. I'm really nothing special. People will have all these, crazy ideas and conspiracies. I'm just a kid, and when I dox myself, that'll hopefully be more apparent and kind of stop some of these conspiracies I see around.
Can I just quickly
Hey,
jump in here as a true friend of Mark's and maybe my lord as well? We work with Mark on a daily basis, and we work face to face, camera to camera. I know Mark well, and the community of listeners here know that I'm fully transparent. I'm also fully doxxed. I work for the Canadian government. You can look me up. I'm, able to be found. You can see me on my LinkedIn's, all my socials. I have a couple 100,000 followers on Instagram. I am Jen. My last name is Varden. Everybody knows me. And I am honestly able to tell you that anonymity is required right now in DeFi for many different reasons. And Mark requires it for a period of time because of what took place and because of some of the emotion that's associated with investing. He has always wanted to dox. He talks about it constantly. In fact, we have many ideas about potentially how to go forward in doing so. But for the group of us that are lucky enough to work on these teams, we know him. And I know myself is quite comfortable saying that I know him well, that he's, a 22-year-old. I wouldn't call him a boy. I'd say he's a man or, and he's contributing a huge amount on a daily basis to the betterment of decentralized finance. And it's just a requirement. I get the frustration and that people maybe would feel more confident or maybe a little bit more understanding if you could see him face to face on a regular basis. And I think that's probably the future, right, Mark? We know that you being a visionary and what you're contributing is going to require it. You're starting to do it in many of the larger meetings that we're taking with, Web3 development. But for the ones of us that are fortunate enough to work with him on a daily basis, it is on a face to face. We know each other. We know what our homes are like, what our lives are like, what we do on a daily basis, just on a personal level outside of business. And if anybody here has any questions related to that, feel free to, reach out to myself or reach out to some of the other members on the Surge team, and we'll confidently tell you that we feel confident working with Mark. We know him well and we protect him. And I fully support his need for anonymity for security reasons currently.
awesome. And
Yeah.
y'all ever thought of the idea of putting a bounty or reward out for the person that was responsible for this?
Well, I mean, the reward would be 12,000 BNB if they actually caught him. Considering that's what he owns, still, I'd assume at least. The last time I checked, I'd followed the breadcrumbs. I haven't seen much movement from it, but then again, you can't know for sure using Tornado which wallet he actually exited it from. So the bounty, in a sense, whenever there is a hack or a vulnerability like that, usually the bounty is part of that reward pool. That's typically how it's gone in the past. People will offer up a fraction of the reward that could be obtained from a seizure like that as payment towards it. Now, that would suck because we don't want to do that. We want to pay everyone back. But if that did happen, it would chop down the size of the surge fund tremendously. So the reward would probably be allocated from there, considering none of us on the team have much money and we don't get any allocations from the tokens themselves to actually pump our bags at all. So we'd have to leverage that. But if that were to still happen, it would chop down the amount owed like probably 95+%, which would be incredible.
And as far as that, the surge fund, say if it is fully funded, will it be a time period to cash it out, or it can just sit in our wallet for however?
No, yeah. So all the new Surge Fund token, it's basically just a claimable amount of BNB, and that's not going to go away at all. So if the Surge Fund's entirely paid off, you'd have that exactly how much you lost as Surge Fund tokens that show up in your wallet, and all you have to do is simply transfer one of those to yourself. You don't have to connect anywhere, and that will redeem all of that BNB that's associated with those tokens. So if you have 18 Surge Fund tokens back at the end, you can just transfer that to yourself, and 18 BNB will be sent to your wallet. So yeah, you could leave those indefinitely if you wanted to, but if you wanted to claim those BNB out, you can do so at any time as long as it's over the gas cost.
Okay. All right. And my last comment or thought, probably like the elephant in the room. I'm a fan of After Dark. So what's it gonna take for you and old boy to start bumping heads?
Man, honestly, a conversation would be a great start. I'm blocked on everything by every single one of those people, and I have no ability. I tried multiple times to see if I could get up there and just speak to them one-on-one. I even put out a tweet yesterday asking them to come in here so maybe we could resolve something. We wouldn't launch people off our stage like they do. We're actually trying to get to the bottom of things and actually have communication. Now, in terms of their talking points, they said that the reason for their onslaught was Twitter drama. All I have to say to that is Twitter drama is stupid regardless, but it started with their main person, their instigator, calling us out saying we hacked his Twitter. We hacked his DMs somehow, and we disabled his communication. And he started this huge rampage at us saying that we somehow did this reasonably impossible feat. That I don't know of any way to do this. I don't think anyone in this room knows of any way to do this. And all that was met with us was Matt over here saying, I just woke up, man. What are you going on about? And yeah, he did call him a name. And yeah, he gets mad if anyone ever threatens his ego. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, I try not to have quarrels with people. I respond when people get bullied when they shouldn't. And I think Chris Harris is a bully. So I don't know. I would love to speak to him one-on-one. I'd love to have a conversation with him, even if it's public, private, it doesn't matter. But it's clear from his messages and his responses that he has no intention of getting to the bottom of anything. And he just wants to ride the coattails to the moon and back. As you can see in his response to my message where he said we would cut off his speech, scramble his words, do all these crazy things that we've never done and that he's been victim of doing himself. In my experience, he's a 40-year-old man that's never heard anything about what projecting means. And I think he just projects his insecurities and his inadequacies on everyone else. But that's the end of that statement. I'll stop talking now about that.
All right. Appreciate your insight. I guess you can knock me down. I like the fact that you're addressing everything, but I got my eye on you. Got my eye on you.
Yes, sir. No, yeah, I encourage you to keep watching and please come back sometime. We'll never kick anyone out for any kind of thing. You could come up here and tell me I'm the worst person in the world, and I just want to figure out why. I just want to talk to you guys because I'm not here to be an enemy. I've made horrible mistakes that I'm still paying for. That's it. But thank you, man. Thanks for coming up. I appreciate it. You got Fritz, you got your hand up still?
Oh yeah. I was so intent listening to you right there. I kind of forgot what I was even going to say other than, I honestly think that the majority of people that invested in your first launch I think the majority of us have kind of let go. Oh, I was gonna say, I don't see any need for you to dox yourself ever, but if you choose to at a later point, that would be fine. To be honest, like you've doxed yourself to so many 100% doxed people, that I mean, and people in the Safe Moon team know your face, know you. They have spoken with you, that are still currently there. If you're a Safe Moon army, if you're a Safe Moon fan, like, I mean, that's how I found out about you. I was Safe Moon, I was Safe Moon all the way from very early. Didn't put enough in, but hey. um, but if you believe in Safe Moon and you believe in your leadership at Safe Moon, you should have no doubt as who Mark is. Because, yeah, of course, they had to take back their offer for the position and all that kind of stuff when the bad thing happened. But you're doxxed to them. They know you. So anybody that believes them shouldn't doubt you and who you are. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's just
Yeah,
my little
no, that's
little
fair.
2 cents.
I am doxed to a lot of the Safe Moon team, including, of course, Kark, their community manager. Everyone, a lot of people know Kark. John himself knows my identity. I've spoken with him face to face, not in person, but over the computer hundreds of times. Well, not hundreds, probably like 10 or 20 times. And he put me on payroll, so he definitely knows. He definitely knows my identity, where I live, everything like that. Now, I'm not saying that you have to trust it because of that. I definitely want to dox myself because I'm not trying to hide anything. It's more just a measure of security right now. I've been wanting to dox for a while. There's no reason not to. I'm not a bad looking person or anything. I'm not hiding for any reason. Um, so yeah, that's definitely going to come out soon when I feel that it's in a more sustainable and comfortable place to do so. There's no reason for me not to, other than the security reason.
Yeah, absolutely. And one last little thing, about the whole doxing. If people in the Safe Moon community remember, there was a certain really high profile Safe Moon team member called Safe Moon Dev. He never doxed himself.
Yeah, I think people have actually figured out his identity, but I don't think willingly he doxed himself, which yeah, I mean, to each their own. The space is built on to be trustless, where you don't need to know or trust people. You can trust code and how it runs. And now, obviously, we're not at that point yet because not everyone can read code, and it's a big problem in this space. Originally when crypto first came out, all the people doing it were the nerds. Criminals picked it up for a little bit in 2013, but before then, it was all the nerds. It was people that knew how to run a terminal on their computer and interact with this network. And as it's seen mass adoption, you get a lot of people that don't know coding, and they don't have to. It shouldn't be that. But originally, in its original intended design, crypto was supposed to be a place where it didn't matter who you were or what you were. It mattered the protocol that was running, that was managing your funds. So ideally, I never have a problem talking with doxed people, and I don't think being doxed or undoxed has anything to do with the project. Of course, an undoxed team has less liability on themselves, and that is where the risk lies. But yeah, I personally have no problem doxing or undoxing either way, and I'm going to be doing that soon.
I was going to add too, Mark, like just recently, amongst our group of developer friends and our community, we've been, brought to the attention that we are being offered, potentially large amounts of money to represent teams that they didn't that they didn't create the contracts for, essentially assisting, bad developers and nefarious behavior to progress by utilizing potential faces or names that are known to create rug pulls. So being fully doxed at this particular point in time also does not necessarily mean that the security of the team is there, that it does require research, and fully doxed doesn't mean everything either. So I would just add that to any of you who feel like fully doxed is the necessary factor to have a trusting matter on a team or a project. It might not be the case currently in this finance.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jen. So, in general, an influencer friend reached out to me recently and said they were offered $25,000 to say that they made this project and that this was their project, by a group of unknown people. So definitely doxing yourself does not always mean security, and malicious people will always find ways to be malicious. It's always good to be careful. And at the end of the day, if you can trust the protocol to where it doesn't matter who runs it, who owns it. That's kind of the most important thing. That's why every time I invest in anything, I go through and I read the code. And I'm not saying everyone has to do that, because not everyone can do that, but there are services, and more of them coming out all the time, that read through projects and vet them for you. So if you're not confident in some of these things, I would definitely use some of those resources. And more coming out. Audits are definitely very helpful. If an audit gets done on a token, don't only look at the audit, look at who made the audit, if they're a reputable auditing source, and read through the findings. Sometimes it's pretty technical, but usually they'll say, like, if it's a major finding, if it's critical, and you can kind of weigh the risks there. That might just be an extra step to help. District, I see you have your hand up really quick. We'll let you do that. We'll go to Yagesh and Mickey. Unless Market has anything to say too. I've seen him up here for a little while. But yeah, you first, District.
Okay, I don't usually get inbox messages, but I think I got two from, I guess, people in this group. I guess the first thing is about your personal Safe Moon bag. Are you willing to put that in the fund? And the other one, a confirmation number. I guess that's associated with the FBI report.
Yeah, I can let the lawyer come up here and tell you about this. You don't get you don't get a confirmation number when you submit an IC3, or when you verbally call the FBI. He can come up now. I think he's in the crowd still, and he can explain that to you if you want. And about the SafeMoon bag, I don't know where this notion that I had a crap ton of SafeMoon came from. I can show you the wallet that I have it. I have 5 million SafeMoon. It was my original goal back in the day. I ended up having to sell some down that I did put into Surge Fund. I donated over 80 BNB to Surge Fund at once, and part of that was from my SafeMoon bags. So, yeah, I'm going to keep these 5 because I really like SafeMoon, and that was my original goal. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop donating to the fund.
I was just going to add about the FBI as someone who also had to make a report this past 6 months in relation to something that had happened on a project that I was on, that the truth is, on an open case, they are very unlikely to allow disclosure for public involvement. So I had asked to have documentation that I would be able to present so that I could show my side of the story, as I was advised by legal counsel that utilizing my voice could be liable. So I was unable to speak publicly and really wanted to. I felt like it was necessary for decentralized finance to understand some of the nefarious behavior that can happen on a team of developers that potentially had bad intentions. Unfortunately, I was advised by legal counsel that the truth has to come out with the findings from the investigations. And when I reached out directly to the team, who I had to provide many, many documents to, I had to make a few different, I guess, like disclosures where they called me. I had to be on camera. I had to remove all cell phones from the room. There was not allowed to be anybody in the room. And I was asked many questions, which I had to answer. I had asked for documentation and disclosure of that particular event so that I was able to show people here in this community and others what took place. And they told me that because the case was open, that was something they were unable to provide me with. And then when I asked, well, what would be available to my community in the future and my investors so I could show them, their answer back to me was that the answer in our findings, and that will be given to you at that due time. So I suspect that's probably similar that's happening with XSURGE. Mark, it is most likely still an open case, considering the way that this particular hack went through those mixers or black box services. Like, he's put, like, whoever this person was, put it into the system. It's, there permanently until they remove different funds, or they obviously take other BNB. So the original ones that went in are untraceable at this point. I assume that will be just part of the problem, but that particular report that was filed by the lawyer should be enough in the intent for many of you to understand the truth of it. So the lawyer takes a bar exam. His bar exam is what allows him to have the ability to speak on this floor, like more than any one of us. And he certainly would not put himself in a position of liability to say that this didn't happen or that he did not provide these claims to an outside agency. It would put him in a position to lose his position, I assume, with the bar. So I would hope that people here maybe could do some research or into that, maybe find out some discovery that most likely what he's providing here today with this particular report is not only more than what we need, but potentially all we get until the final reports come from these investigations.
Sorry, real quick. Mike got booted. Can anyone just accept his request or unmute him or something?
Yeah, I'm looking for him now. Still says he's a co-host for me. Yeah. Oh, here he is. Yep, I got him back up.
I got
All
it.
right, District. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
Nah, that was it. That was it. I appreciate the response. Just on Safe
Hey.
Moon, like $4 this year. You know, we expect that big contribution from you.
Hell yeah, man. Blockchain's coming. And I just want to clear this up too. This is something that really grinded my gears. When I said I was creating contracts for the SafeMoon blockchain, that's not a lie. You can make a contract for any blockchain. You don't need to have any privy knowledge to the blockchain to make a contract for it, unless they somehow, for some reason, change their entire language of their EVM. There's no reason why my contracts wouldn't work on SafeMoon's blockchain. So that was a very big misunderstanding I saw in the space. Contracts, all they were going to provide is gas fees and utility and volume to SafeMoon, because all the gas fees that are paid on their blockchain would be in that currency. So if anything, it would just drive volume. So it was met with some pretty harsh reactions, which were very surprising. You can even look at my GitHub. I have thousands of smart contracts developed, designed, and created that would work very, very well on SafeMoon's blockchain, considering it would be infant and there wouldn't be any major programs or products on there already. I just want to clarify that really quick. We can move on, though. Mickey, I think you were next.
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you guys hear me?
Yep, can hear you.
All right, cool. I just wanted to come on, man, and definitely give out a little shout out to Mark, because I know that with investing, if you're in crypto for the right reasons, and I guess you could say with the right responsibility, you know exactly what you're getting into with any project, whether it's small cap, large cap, whatever the case is. I don't know how many people here remember, but there was a token called Titan that literally went from like 64 whatever dollars, I don't even know how much it was, to less than a tenth of a penny. And Mark Cuban was in on it and shit. And that literal group came back and created a whole token and never did any of the stuff that you're doing, coming out here talking. And then I hear a lot of people literally guilt tripping you into doxing yourself. You owe us this, and we're expecting this. And I'm just thinking to myself, this is crazy. This is crypto. This isn't stocks. Like, what you got into, what you're getting into with crypto. So you should be responsible as to how much you allocate towards other things. So I just got to say, shout out to you, because there aren't any other projects that I know of that have been affected by a hack or a situation like this, where they've actually gone out of their way and said, you know what, I'm gonna work my ass off to make it right. And like I said, I just got to give a shout out to you. Don't get guilt tripped into doxing yourself. I feel that a lot of the people that are asking that are asking it for the wrong reasons. And you know what, you got to be careful with, your safety and all that. And I know, yeah, there are people that lost money, and my heart goes out to you, but he is doing everything he can to make it better. So yeah, shout out to you, my man. So, and also shout out to Hank Wyatt, man, for being in here. All right, so be easy, babe.
Thanks, Mickey. Appreciate you, my brother. I really, yeah, that was awesome. I think this is the first time I met you, so it's nice to meet you, my man. All right. I believe Market has been up here for a while. Market, did you have anything you wanted to add? Market prediction, dude.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I had to change the volume on my TV there.
Yeah,
Hi.
no worries. What's up, man?
Well, I'm kind of new to the whole DAO scene. And I just saw that as far as Surge goes, that there's a DAO functions that are in place for the future. And I was wondering if that's going to be something similar, where like you're building out the ecosystem and you're doing more stuff like staking or reflection coins and stuff like that. And if you might have something in the works, like I heard you guys talking about a fund earlier. Are you doing something similar, maybe to like Olympus DAO, or like the the Time Wonderland kind of ecosystem where there's going to be kind of like a banking kind of backup system?
So absolutely. So you're right in a few areas. The DAO that's being released is being released to manage XUSD. It's not going to manage all of it because certain parts of it wouldn't be too secure with the DAO, but it's going to manage this one farming aspect of it that's going to generate excess revenue, and it's going to be in charge of divvying out where those funds are allocated, similar to Olympus DAO and how that kind of system works, but less it's not like the DAO is is what the project is. The DAO is just what governs it. In this case, it's a little bit different, and the fund is specifically designed for people that our very first project that was created kind of as an experiment overnight had a hack that happened to it back in the day, and we're still working towards fixing that up and making that right for everyone that was affected way back in August. The newer tokens that we've come out with since are solid as a rock. We've gotten them all audited, and they've all been peer reviewed by several experienced engineers. So we're definitely very proud and confident in our ecosystem moving forward. But we're never going to forget and let up on what happened back in August. We're never going to just brush that under the rug. So that's still something that's on our minds and that we're actively moving towards fixing for people.
Okay, right, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I was sad to hear that. Coming in here, I didn't really know much about Surge, but um, I hope that there's some good resolution, to all that. All that can get a washy, in the whole crypto space when people get their funds hacked and stuff like that. But it's good that you guys are still chipping away and working to get some good resolution there because you know uh, the whole there's been kind of an epidemic across the whole space since it came out.
No, absolutely. No, yeah, you're dead on there. It is definitely a problem that happens in the space, and over time, as more regulation comes in, more auditing firms come in, more developers come in. Hopefully, that problem will just diminish over time. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, oh, and additionally, so you did mention staking and stuff. All of these aspects that you see in DeFi, staking, yield farming, lending, other ones, those will all be available options with the new utilities that we're coming out with XUSD in the very near future. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of things you can do with your XUSD and all of your Surge tokens coming out really soon, which is really important. And those are managed and run by a DAO. Just want to make that distinction really quick. All right. I think Yagish. Sorry if I butchered your name there, my man. But how's it going?
No problem. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah. Have a good one, bro.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing today, guys?
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. So I have two questions actually. So I invested in SafeMoon in April month, and after that I was following everything on SafeMoon on Twitter, and then I seen Mark's video on YouTube and on Twitter, and I like the Mark's video, everything, right? So yesterday I heard like Kark was saying there was a risk of exploit, right, before even releasing of the contract, and there was no auditing that time done, right? So my question to Mark, like, why did you release the contract? Even you already known that it has an exploit risk, right? And
No,
you
so yeah,
know,
this was something that was misconstrued on the space, and if you listened a little later, Kark went back through and reiterated this. We didn't know there was an exploit possibility. What he was saying was the spot that was exploited, we did observe and weigh the risk of a potential, and we ended up coming to the conclusion, both of us, as well as other engineers that we had look at it, that we're not trying to name drop, we all came to the conclusion that it was entirely safe and that was impossible to happen. Little did we know that if you did 2-3 steps in a row in the specific order, you could bypass the reentrancy guard we had in place there. But at the time, we didn't know that would have existed. And through all of our testing and everything, nothing of the sort came back as that being a potential issue. Clearly, we were wrong, and hindsight's always 20/20. But when the contract was released, there was nothing that we saw as potentially harmful in it. Nothing at all.
okay, so I have to listen the other parts again, maybe, but like because I was on live, right? And he said I think 2-3 times already like you were known like it has an exploit, and he suggested like we can do audit first, right? Because my question is for Safe Moon Army, right? Safe Moon Army were following you that time like blindly. Whatever you put, you had like 20,000-30,000 followers that time. So maybe you already known that, right? If you release the contract, so many people gonna buy it, right? So it was like $4-5 million value, and if we waited for next 2-3 weeks, 4 weeks, something, it will be like 10-15 million dollar value, right? So if you knew that, like the Safe Moon Army are following blindly, and they're gonna buy everything, right? So why did you release that contract and then the hack happened, right?
Well, so if I knew that their contract was actually had a vulnerability or some sort of exploit, I would have never released it. Card can come up here right now, and he will clarify all of that. And I promise, if you go back through and you listen to that After Dark space, near the end of it, Kark had a segue where someone asked that exact same question, and he corrected it, saying that we didn't know there was an exploit. We reviewed a line of code that we thought could be, but we ended up determining that it was impossible, and it was. The way that we were looking at it was impossible. There was a reentrancy guard on it. It was a complex set of different function calls that were done in order to bypass that reentrancy guard altogether. Um, and if you were around at the beginning, I didn't release this on Twitter. I didn't release it in some huge capacity. It was 6:30 in the morning, and I released it to my private Discord of people. And I went to bed. And I woke up the next day, and there was a Twitter made, there was a Reddit made, there was a Facebook made, there was a Discord made. Everything was made, and I was already put at the top of it. And it was one of the most explosive growths I've ever seen in my life. That was not the goal. If the goal was to make money, I would have put a dev fee in the Surge B&B contract. I didn't put anything. I didn't make $1 off of people buying into that thing. That wasn't the goal. The goal was to
No,
change
no,
DeFi.
I'm saying like I know like it's not about the money, right? But you knew like Safe Moon Army gonna buy it, right? So that was my concern. So I will check it again, that video, right? And the second question is on your January 1st tweet on the Twitter, right? It says plan for 2022. So it doesn't say like particular New Year resolution, right? So because you wrote down like that, so most of the Safe Moon Army they are thinking like they're gonna get the money in 2022, right?
Yeah, no, of course. So I should have worded that better to say New Year's resolution instead of goals or plans for 2022. I do admit that, but I'm still just as confident when I made that tweet that it will be a thing in the past by the end of this year. If I was wrong, I'm absolutely gonna have to face all the clashback by that. And I do realize that I should have been more careful with my wording. But I'm confident in what we have and what we're coming out with, that all of this will be behind us by the end of the year. Now, that might be me just being extra bullish or extra confident. I don't know, but I think I need this confidence and I need to manifest this, or else, I'm just going to be sitting around sad all the time. There's no reason for that. I'm going to work my ass off, and I think we have the coolest fucking project in DeFi, and that's going to speak for itself.
Yeah, but you can right now, like you can add the new tweet as well over there, right? So even people can see it, right? If you don't add anything there, the tweet is there, and after 1 year, like people gonna see, oh, you said that, but you can put the new tweet like it's a resolution, right? So, or you can put like in my opinion, right? Like,
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I see exactly what you're saying, and my word choices could have been better. I did not mean it in a way to instill any sort of false hope or any kind of negativity at all. It was supposed to be exactly the opposite. Was what was supposed to be taken away from that. So that's a lesson learned from myself and how I should communicate and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, man, just sit back and watch and see what we can do. I still think I'm going to get it done by the end of the year, and now I have extra drive to do so.
okay, yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, because I have been bought like 100 plus of the shit coins, different small coins, and most of the were like rug pull or dairy, right? So, yeah, we will check it. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah.
Yep, thanks, man. Thanks for coming up.
By the way, for anyone that is curious, on my nonprofit's Twitter account, which is Hack Relentless, I posted or I made a tweet that basically is a link to a cybersecurity article that basically did they looked at what happened with Surge BNB and did an entire report talking about the reentrancy aspect and basically how the hack went down. So if anyone's curious about the details for it, please go to Hack Relentless, that Twitter account, and it should be like the first tweet that you see.
Awesome.
And if anyone wants to retweet it or make it more available for people to see, I'd be happy to. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I
Thank
just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, no, thank you. Bet, what's up, man? Beto, sorry.
Hey, Mark. So I just have a couple statements to make. Don't really have any questions. I'll preface it by saying I was not a holder of Surge, and I am not a holder of XSurge or anything, any of your other products that you've helped develop. So just wanted to put that out there. I think that your effort in, although I absolutely feel for the people that were affected and lost their funds, I think that it should also be noted that you haven't hidden from the fact that this hack occurred and that people lost their money. I think that you trying to put yourself out here and rectify the issue speaks volumes to your character. You are a young man. This is going to be one of those experiences that you will absolutely learn from, and that you will grow from, and that you will amount a mass amount of knowledge after you're able to do things right by the holders. Also on that, I just want to remind people in cryptocurrency who might be a young investor class that's in crypto. If you are a stock investor and before the market opens tomorrow, if one of my stocks that I own, one of the companies which I own shares in, files for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, Chapter 7, not Chapter 11, Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and meaning they are going out of business, they are liquidating their assets. Usually the shareholders get absolutely nothing for what they're holding. So I just want to remind people that also with investment comes responsibility. It is often why people say, do your own research. It's not just because people say that to you, it's because you should. If I blindly follow an quote unquote influencer into a investment, if I just say, oh, well, Mark wrote code for SafeMoon, so I'm going to buy everything that Mark develops, then that is irresponsible also on my end. So there bears responsibility on the project creators, on the developers, and there is also responsibility that bears upon the holders. So I just want to remind people of that. In stocks, which are heavily regulated by the SEC, if a company files for bankruptcy, they do not give you one dime. By the time they liquidate, the shareholders do not see anything. Just a reminder on that, okay? So the fact that you, Mark, and I'm completely impartial here. I have nothing to gain or nothing to lose from what I'm saying here, other than what I like to do in this space is provide real information, sound information that is not biased in any way. So the fact that you are trying to rectify your wrongs by trying to raise funds for the people that were affected, give this kid some time. Give this young man some time to make that right for the holders. And lastly, what I'll say is don't allow people to go on a witch hunt and scare you or remove you or cancel you from this space. There are very few developers that are currently available to develop projects, and you are one of the bright ones. So continue to grow as a young man, continue to expand your knowledge, and continue to be here for all of DeFi, right? Anytime I've heard you speak in SafeMoon spaces where you're trying to inform and provide information to SafeMoon holders on how contracts work and different functions work, that's information that we can now convert into knowledge that can now enhance our knowledge in the crypto space. So again, it really shocks me sometimes when if I throw 1 BNB or 10 BNB or 50 BNB at a project, right? I can buy, let's just go to Bitcoin. I can buy Bitcoin right now for say 42,000 last I checked. Doesn't mean that it's going to increase in value. There's no guarantee that that's going to happen. There is also a possibility that it goes back to $18,000 and I'm going to lose my ass. What am I going to do? Who do I go to say I lost money? People also need to mature in the space and understand that with investment comes a risk. And that's all I got. Thank you.
No, thank you, Beto. Thanks for coming up, my man. I shot you a follow. You had some wise words there. That is true about stocks too. That is always an unfortunate day. I've had that happen to me once. I forgot. Yes, stocks I guess can rug pull too. Who would have thought?
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. So again, people, we all just need to grow up. I think all of us. And what people are doing, using their follower base to go on these witch hunts is despicable. I will say that I don't care who unfollows me. I don't care because I've always been taught to do the right thing. And it's just despicable that there's people that use their influence to make all these unfound accusations, right? and talk about holding people accountable while themselves have made assertions that never came to any life, that never came to fruition. Where's the accountability there? Hypocrisy at its finest. Thank you. I'll step down, guys.
Well, unfollows as it is, I'm following Beto, and I highly recommend others do as well. Well said, Beto.
Yeah, very well said, my man. Damn, couldn't have said it better, honestly. DeFi Crypto, how's it going, my bro?
Hey, how's it going, Mark? Hey, so I got rugged like 20 times off this space, so I'm looking forward to listening to the recording. I'm not sure what's going on with Twitter Spaces tonight, so I'll make mine quick. The first thing I'd like to say is I went and tried to, the space that had been fighting last night. I went and tried to watch the recording of that on YouTube, and I invite people to go do this. Like go to the Save Moon After Dark recording of their last night space and just listen to the first like 5 minutes. And there's a girl who comes on there and she talks about basically she talks about John Caroni making a post about Mark today, and she's saying it happened like that moment today, and you're like, well, no, he didn't. He's not even following this right now. He's got better things to, and she's pulling up a post from right after the Surge hack happened, but it was a complete like misinformation campaign, and everybody on that speakers panel just completely let it go. Like they're like, yeah, John's talking about our program and he must be watching in the background. We think we're so special. It was an amazing and you're like, I couldn't listen to the other 4 hours because I didn't want to dumb myself down too much. But I mean, when you go on this, and I used to go on every once in a while to catch some stuff because I'm a pretty big Safe Moon owner, and I'm like, I mean, there was just so much stuff that flew around, and every once in a while you get some good speakers or whatever, so it's not terrible but if you could just cut out like the other 3.5 hours, maybe the two good speakers who come up, there's a bunch of garbage that flows around there, and you go in this space and it's pretty factual. I mean, you can fact check everything, and I think intelligent people can spot that. So I hope people do. But the other thing I wanted to bring up is I'm a pretty like I said, I have a pretty big Safe Moon bag. I also have a pretty large holding in all the Surge farms and all the XSURGE. And you know what? When people are FUD and Safe Moon, I get a little bit worried. I'm like, oh shit, my Safe Moon's going to go down 20-30%. I heard someone was FUDing last night. I saw it in the Discord, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to sleep. If everybody sells, well, I'm going to make some more money because that's how XSURGE works. So it's kind of one of those things going to sleep where like I don't care if people FUD it, sell it. The only reason why I care is because I think the ecosystem has somewhere to go, and there's something that could be done in the future with regards to it. But when it comes to just owning it, like I don't care if people buy, people sell, more the better. If like people want to sell, I take their money as a holder. So they give whatever that small percentage of the sell fee goes back to me, and my value goes up. So I was expecting a lot of FUD and maybe a lot of sellers after. For some reason, I think it was like at 1,800, 2,000, 2,100, and after all the FUD came out, there's like 2,500 holders. So maybe some people are actually looking into this project. Some people who are smarter can know how to read. They're hearing about it through the FUD and actually researching it, and do that, and you'll see what's to come, and use your money wisely. But I'd say give it a look and do what you got to do. But I do appreciate that I don't have to worry someone's gonna sell all their bag, and my value may go up like 0.5% the next day. So it's cool. Just so I get off before I get rugged again, I appreciate the time. No real questions for me. Just want to come up and and then I'll listen to the rest of the space later so I can catch what else went on.
Hey, thanks, DeFi. I appreciate that, my man. Yeah, no, that space was it was something else. It was pretty horrendous. The fact they wouldn't let anyone else come up too. I tried several times, blocked on everything. It's all right. It is what it is. Yeah, DeFi Crypto's been around for a minute. He's actually he was invited into our leadership server, but way back when we recruited some people from the community to come in. He's a good asset. He's in there a lot talking. He's a great guy. I would definitely shoot him a follow. Yeah, awesome. What's up, Hank? How's it going, my man?
Wait, before that, breaking news: we just have 2,500 holders.
Yeah,
Let's
so that's
go.
another thing I was gonna say. Yeah, we've never gained holders as quickly as when Chris opens his mouth. Like he's probably our biggest influencer. I gotta say
Number
for
one Surge
XUSD.
influencer.
Yeah, or so something like that. It's hilarious. But yeah, how's it going, Hank?
How you doing, Mark? I don't want to take up anybody's time, so I'll just be real quick. I do have some XUSD now, but I didn't buy Surge. I wasn't part of Surge. I have no bias in here. I don't really give a shit what happened with Surge. I feel bad for everybody, who lost money, but it didn't affect me. So, take it just as a third opinion for you. But Mark didn't have to talk to you guys after it got hacked. He could have just left. He could have deleted his account. He could have been gone. You would have never known who he was. That would have been it. So everybody who's berating him on social media needs to take that very small factor and use that as, Mark didn't have to talk to you today. He didn't have to talk to anybody for the last few months. He doesn't have to put his money in and help you guys. He's doing it because that's what he feels is the right thing to do. And now I agree with him. I think that's the right thing to do. I think it's admirable. And it speaks to his character, but it wasn't something that he was forced to do. I mean, this is him doing it out of his fruition. And, I personally, I've hired Mark to do a few things. I'm definitely going to hire him again in the future because he's very knowledgeable with both Solidity and just blockchain in general. He knows what he's talking about in terms of development. I'm not saying trust him. I'm not saying don't trust him. I trust him personally to do development tasks for me. And, I don't hire just anybody. So, I mean, I would personally trust him to do my products, but that's my opinion, and that's what I'm going to choose to do. But, he doesn't have to spend his time trying to help everybody who was affected through this hack. He's doing it because he wants to, and because he wants to help everybody. That's the main aspect to take away here. So everything he's doing to try to, one, and help prove the space, and two, help everybody who was affected. I mean, I think that speaks to his character more than anything else. I mean, I know what it's like to take a lot of shit on social media, and I've wanted to delete my account several times. So, I mean, Mark gets almost the same amount of flack I do, and the fact that he's still here and he's still fighting and he's still, trying to help everybody. I mean, Mark has my respect in that regard. So that's all I wanted to say. Hi, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. I'm going to move back down to listener now.
Yeah, thanks, Hank. Thanks for coming up and saying all that, man. I really appreciate it. You're a great dude. Definitely a lot of misconceptions about you out there. I see a few people have their hand up. JY and Kuwa. If you guys have anything you want to add? Sorry, I went out of order. JY first.
Yeah, so I did have a question. I probably missed it earlier. You probably already went over it. But V3 of the Surge Fund. When that was not me. That was
No,
not
I
me.
know. That was fast fingers, Matt. You got that guy out quick.
That was good.
Only one daddy? Wow.
He was talking to me, by the way. But anyway, sorry. Damn it, man. Now V3 Surge Fund. Did you put out a time frame on when that's dropping? And then I know you said there's something like 65 BNB in the current contract. Is that going to roll over into the Surge Fund? And then I think it was District was saying he had like 18 BNB when he was in the original Surge hack. Like for a big bag like his, do you know how much like that big wallet address has claimed already? Like how does that kind of work into the migration from V2 to V3? And then, from kind of asking District, you don't have to answer if he doesn't want to, but like, have you claimed any of your earnings, or is it like kind of not earnings? I'm sorry, but like getting your refund back? Like, how has that worked out for you, for somebody who's had a really large investment? Thanks.
So I can answer the first two and then throw it over to District. Yes, the 62, 63 B&B that's in there right now will roll over to the new Surge Fund. We definitely future-proof the Surge Fund in a few ways. The new Surge Fund, when we launch it, it actually goes through and, okay, well, to start, we got a list of everyone that was affected. We pulled it from all the wallet holders and B&B amounts at the block before the attack, so about 3 seconds prior. And we fed all that data into the first Surge Fund. And we built it in such a way that it can tell, you can ask it questions and it'll tell you about the data. So the new Surge Fund, it asks the previous one all the data. We go through and we feed it all the addresses, and it asks the old Surge Fund, how much left does this guy have left to claim? And then updates itself accordingly. And every time a claim is made, it'll update that value to reflect everyone's true B&B amount that's left over. So the V3, it'll inherit all the data that V2 has directly by asking it. And the B&B will be upgraded over and move over to V2. And yeah, District, if you want to jump on, I know he asked you a question as well.
Yeah, I would say since the fund started, let me see, I was doing like $3 to $7 a day, and up to this point, I haven't like did the whole audit check, but I only guess maybe like a quarter to a half of a B&B, even if that, you know.
Yeah, we've definitely. So the first few, they're slightly skewed in their implementation, in terms of they really spread it out evenly when it should be spread out in batches, and that's what V3 is going to do. And I really hope everyone notices a bump like that. I know George has had good luck with his claiming, but he was on that stuff pretty frequently, so he has a lot of insight too. He's we invited him out into our leadership Discord. To keep us honest and transparent. So how are you doing, George? Sorry, Q. I'm just gonna jump here really quick, just because I think it's on topic.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, so I just wanted to jump in, and sorry about my monkey picture. I had to change that last night when I tried to get into the famous show we were talking about, and I had to change it because I wasn't getting picked to talk. And even after I changed it to a monkey, I requested 50 times, I got rejected, and then I got kicked out of the show. So but going back to the Surge Fund, I just wanted to say I had 70 B&B, and between V1 and V2, I've claimed almost 7 B&B. So that's just to prove what this Chris Harris guy is saying, that we're not doing anything about it, and Mark is not doing anything about it. There's just one person. I've gotten 7 B&B back. So take that for what you guys want, but it's working, if you ask me.
Yeah, thanks, George. Thanks for coming up, my man. Yeah, Kua, if you wanna hop on now. I'm sorry for cutting you off there.
No, you're fine. It's your space. I'm a lurker. I've been with some of the saving people and on some of the Twitter spaces on crypto since March. I come from the equity markets. I also got rugged in stocks. You can go check the yearly charts or the monthly charts for Luckin Coffee or Hertz because of the coronavirus and because they were manipulating the books, cooking the books. But there were still some good people in those companies that after the stockholders got liquidated and everything went to zero, there was still a trade and we made a lot of money because we betted on not only the correct capital, but on the correct people that were actually trying to manage the company and make the situation better. I've heard about you before in a negative light, but I've been following you because I was a little bit interested in some of the stuff that you were doing with XUSD when I heard about it a couple of months ago. And with that background, here comes my 2 questions. Number 1, why are you doing this? Because I'm pretty sure your lawyer must have told you that you don't even have a legal obligation to go out of your way to get all these people's money. I mean, crypto is the wild, wild west of VC capital and hedge funds running rug pulls and pop and dumps. But you seem like legitimately worried about what happened, and I was wondering about like what was your motivation as a developer, as an individual, to actually instead of moving forward and then make a new project and make like a public statement and move on, you're going through all this additional work.
So the majority of that stems from who was involved with my first project. So it wasn't just me being, quote unquote, an influencer or whatever you want to say, getting people involved. I felt an obligation to it. And you're right. My lawyer told me a million times I could walk away from this fine because crypto is how it is. And he, in fact, told me not to say anything about paying people back because of the liability. One second. I'm just going to mute your mic really quick just for the background noise. I'll turn it right back on. I'm sorry. Or yeah, feel free to. Because of the liability that I would assume by saying it. But at the end of the day, the people that got into it were not only just people that followed me. They were people I talked to every day when I did mooncasts or when I did live things. They were friends of mine, people that quote unquote look up to me or wanted something of me and trusted me. I lost hundreds of friends. I lost my job, a lot of respect in my space. And that's not why I did it. At the end of the day, I felt horrible for everyone that lost. It wasn't just people like in the space. It was family and friends in real life. That's not the motivation. The motivation behind it was it was the first time anything like this had happened to me. And it mainly happened because of the trust that I had built in the system. And so if it was under different circumstances, maybe I would have gone a more legal approach where I did make a public statement. But since it was friends in the space and people in the space and the Safe Moon people that followed me and got me to where I was just because they trusted me, that was why I had to pay everyone back. There were people that lost a lot. Like there were people that did invest against my advice. They did invest more than they were willing to lose.
Yeah,
And
they
that's
didn't
something.
manage their risk.
Yeah, I did. You always say that. You always throw that out there, but I've been in that regard too, where I've aped in somewhere because of hype and have been burned from it.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I lost
that's no.
50,000 in Luckin Coffee, but thankfully I made it all back on the comeback
I also
from
lost a
Hertz
lot.
and
I
you know
also lost a lot on Luck and
from
Coffee.
it, once it got relisted, and then also when Hertz, was able to negotiate its debt, I think I sold back like at $29 and bought at 88 cents. Um, so that brings me then to my last question, and then it's like, how do you do it, man? Because I'm pretty sure that the negative pressure and energy that you're getting constantly is unfathomable. But you seem to just be able to brush it off professionally. And sorry if I'm being an asshole when I say this, but I think you're carrying yourself in a pretty good way, at least in today's space, right? Um, for somebody your age, like, do you have like a really good support circle? Is it just part of your hard-headed motivation? Like, have you had to prepare yourself mentally for this? Because it seems like you're in a rough spot, and if anything, I kind of look up to you now.
I'm not gonna lie. I do have to mentally prep a little bit. I do get anxiety after what happened the first time. Before I would come up to speak, no problem. But definitely now there is a little bit of that kicking. But it's mostly the motivation for it at this point. I didn't lose everyone. A lot of people crucify my name now, but I do still have so many friends and loyal supporters in the space. And if it wasn't for certain people like really helping lift me up in those times, I don't know. It was a very hard time. I was very depressed for a little while, but at the end of the day, the motivation to make it right, and the fact that I believe in myself and I know that I can raise that money somehow because I think I'm a good developer, and that crypto is the wild wild west, and there's going to be trillions of more dollars put into it in the near future. At least that's our goal. I just know I can do it, and it's more the motivation now. And I set goals for myself. Like I set the goal to do it by the end of this year, and I'll be disappointed in myself if I don't do it. So it's more a mix of manifestation and wanting to do the right thing. I would say because once that's paid back to, it's going to be like a weight lifted off the shoulders. Like I can't even imagine what that's going to be like, but I know we're going to get there. and then it's just going to be, everything else ahead.
Well, I wish I would have had your mentality when I was younger. Props to you. One thing that you learn in stock investing is that you kind of have to not only follow the company but follow the team in charge. And I just want to let you know that I will manage my risk, and I'm definitely interested in the stuff that you're building. So count me as a lurker, as a silent supporter, and I wish you the best. Have a good night, sir.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Welcome to the team. And coming in the next 1 to 2 months, you're going to be very pleasantly surprised and excited, especially as someone that's been investing in stocks and other assets for a period of time. We got some cool stuff coming. I'll tell you that, but nothing we're commenting on tonight. So I'm happy to have you on board, man. I hope you come up to this.
I'm in no rush. I've learned that time in the market pays off more than trying to time the market. So you have a good one, and I appreciate your time. Thank you. I'm gonna drop down.
Absolutely, yeah. Come back up sometime, man. On a different space. What's up, Kark? Sorry, JY. I'll get to you right after.
Hey, how you doing? Decided to pop on in here once I saw you up.
Yeah, hell yeah. How you been? How was you went in that space last night? Kark went in and blaze of glory defending me because no one else has access to go up there because we're all blocked. But everyone respects Kark and loves Kark. He's a very smart, level-headed guy. He's also a community manager over at SafeMoon, so he has that inherent clout. I always love to hear from you, Kark. How you doing?
Doing well. Yeah, it was an interesting space to jump into for sure. I'm not a mudslinger or anything like that, so I'll just I'll probably leave it at that. But yeah, it definitely was jumping into the lion's den. I felt like so, but knowing you, being around you, seeing everything how it unfolded, I had to jump in there and at least give my perspective and answer questions, I think, as candidly as possible. But it felt a little bit of a hostile environment. I think that there was a lot of stuff swirling around that were patently untrue, or a lot of speculation that was definitely misguided. That's probably about as far as I'll put it.
And you did an excellent job, not only like kind of getting that through, but doing it in a way to not hurt their egos, because as well as I do how they react if you ever hurt their ego. Get launched. So you did a great job, man. You impressed me and probably tons of people that actually follow what's going on. But yeah, besides that,
sorry, if you're talking, I just completely stopped hearing you. It happens to me all the time. I don't know why.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Cutting out. I'll give it a second.
Oh,
okay, here you go.
You can hear me now? Yeah, honestly, yeah. I forgot what I was saying. I was just appreciating you for being awesome, more or less. You've always been a great friend to me.
Hey, no, appreciate it. And you've always been a great friend to me as well. And I think it's important just in this space that we look at things objectively and candidly, because I know that tempers flare and people get excited and all sorts of crazy things happen. There's a lot of drama in DeFi, just in general. And the one thing that I will say that I can objectively say is that when I see an opportunity to stick my neck out for Mark and give a character reference, I will. Because I know him, I know what happened, I know his reaction to a lot of these things, all the private conversations I've had with him. I know where his head and his heart is, and so when I see an opportunity to stand up for my friend, and when I see an opportunity to stand up for the truth, I will. But yeah, like what I would just caution everyone is like just let cool heads prevail in this space, right? I mean, you said before, Mark, that we need to be in collaboration, not competition, and it's just really crazy how this space devolves from time to time into mudslinging, and we need to be above that. And that's a lofty thing for me to say, but I think we can do it.
I think we can too, man. I don't know. It's weird how people will turn to these kind of like mob mentalities sometimes. Everyone's their own person and can think independently. You don't have to hear what one person that you look up to says and think it's necessarily true. Always take everything with a grain of salt. anything I say, anything your favorite person on YouTube says. You know, it's always good to think objectively, like you were saying. It'll help a lot because everyone's just people. You know, and people can be wrong, and not necessarily just wrong, but like go on these weird, you know, personal vendettas that they drag you along for. But yeah, that's enough on that. Thank you so much, Kark, for coming up just to show your support. At least I always love to see you around. All right, JY, you can finish that, and then we got Balu who just came up. We'll get to you in a second, my man.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for the explanation on V3 and for everybody else who chimed in about how their funds were getting repaid back. And then I really appreciate being a part of the community. I feel kind of special in here right now just because I got two of my favorite CEOs on the same stage as me and one of the best devs in the industry, in my opinion. I'm about to take a screenshot, post it all over Twitter. I feel special. Appreciate it, guys. Take care.
Hell yeah, man. Talk to you later, JY. Thank you.
Oh yeah, win full time, useless Mark. Congratulations on that, by the way, Kark.
Oh no, appreciate it. Yeah, it's an exciting opportunity. So being in the space full time, it's intimidating, but yeah.
Oh, you get used to it.
I'm jealous just from someone who saw the announcement, Kirk. It's true. Way to go, Dave. Yeah, you're going to be able to grow and expand useless crypto in a very, you know, expansive way, I suspect. It's exciting for you.
No, thanks. And if anybody wants to come to Utah and we'll all work on crypto together, like let's just create a big Utah pile of devs. It'd be awesome. Let's do it.
Hell yeah, man. I'm definitely going out there to visit you soon. We talked about that. That'll be fun. Maybe visit the SafeMoon HQ.
Do it.
Yeah, you live right near it. It's great.
No, I've been there, and I met all the guys and talked to John, and it's a nice space for sure. I would, yeah, it's definitely a place that if I were to be working there, I would enjoy working there.
Hell yeah. How's it going, Baloo?
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me up. I'm working on a Web3 business, so I know a little bit about the space, but I'm new to this particular community that I just jumped onto tonight, and you know, it's clear you've got something special going on with the community that you've got. I had two questions, though, since you've been through an exploit. One is, what tools have you used to try and track down the perpetrators? And then two, what resources can you suggest for Solidity developers to learn about different exploits so that we can better protect ourselves and protect our code?
Great questions. So the first one, the malicious actor used Tornado Cash, which is a decentralized protocol that mixes up funds aggressively and ends up allowing anyone to basically deposit and withdraw from them anonymously. I mean, crypto is already anonymous, but it does a great job at masking the wallet. The particular wallets that are used in the Tornado experience. So in terms of tools that we had available to track it, we didn't have many, so we try to outsource for them. We reached out to Cypherblades, which is the lead blockchain security analysis and investigation company. They've actually retrieved over $100 million in stolen assets. But their response to us was that the attack was very professional and done in a way that they knew right away, right from the preliminary, that it's low risk to no risk. I mean, low chance to no chance of ever recovering those. They even included in their letter that it would probably cost more than was stolen in the exploit to actually run their services that long until they were to ever find something substantial. So we exhausted those possibilities. When it comes to very advanced and technical malicious actors in the space, just based on how cryptocurrency is, it's built to not be able to track and catch and do stuff like that. It's built to be peer-to-peer and anonymous, so it is definitely difficult. So the biggest suggestion I would say is exactly what your second point was to really teach security first in development when you're dealing with Solidity. I didn't know much about, I mean, I knew basic things about possible exploits, but I didn't really know the depth of them until this happened. Now I consider myself an exploit expert at Solidity, and arguably so because I've been putting so much time and effort into making sure what happened never happens again. And I definitely think if I started with that, it would have really helped me facilitate my knowledge even more, because when you learn about the exploits, it's not like the code was faulty. It has to do with how the blockchain works and which function, what's triggered when. So the way that the reentrancy works, it has nothing to do with how the code worked. It has to do with the fact that when BNB is sent, or when the native token on a chain is sent, it actually triggers a receive function on whoever receives it, and that's only applicable to BNB. So if you wrote a malicious contract that receives it, it could potentially do things and alter state in ways that you didn't intend. That's something I learned from this, and is actually the root of pretty much most exploits that happen. There are some ones that go way more in depth than that, but more often than not, those have been fleshed out. And there are some really good exploit websites that list all the exploits that happen. It's actually pretty sad, but you can see there's like 3 new ones every single day for different exploits that happen across Ethereum, BSC, Polygon, all over the place. It doesn't only list the exploit, it goes into detail about how they did the exploit, and it shows like snippets of code and stuff like that. I'm trying to find the name of the website off the top of my head, but I'm sure if you were to just Google search Solidity exploits, it would be high on that list. That was a very helpful one for me. Not only did it make me realize how common of a theme this is in the space, there's like 7 or 14 different categories of exploits. I did my due diligence on every single one of them, time and time again, to make sure. And that's absolutely something that anyone trying to learn Solidity should do. Thanks for bringing that up, man. That's a great point.
Yeah, thanks for your answer. I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, awesome. Good luck in your Web3 career, man. We need more devs in the space, so kudos, if that's the right word. All right, so I think everyone's come up that's wanted to come up. If there's any more people out in the audience that have anything to add, definitely raise your hand. This is probably last call. We've been going for about almost 3.5 hours now, so we're gonna give Matt a rest. Some of the speakers up here a rest, but we got one person, Apes United. Feel free to come up, and then we'll wrap up. How's it going, man?
Hey, Mark. I think my mic's back on. I bought the coin a while ago. I got on the space late. I didn't even know you guys were still working on this project. Are those old coins useless now? Or are you guys trying to do something with that?
Which ones? The original Surge BNB tokens?
Yeah, the original.
Yeah. Well, there is actually, for some reason, still $25,000 of BNB in the contract. So I guess they're worth something, but I would not put any money into it or disregard it. I would sell those coins and redeem whatever's left over. We've released several other variants that are very secure and have several audits on them that kind of replace what the old one was and have a lot of extra features. And we're actually doing a new Surge BNB styled contract with really pimped out with all these new utilities that we're coming out with for the new tokens. So you can stay tuned for that for that one. But in terms of the other tokens, no.
Okay, yeah, so just what I wanted to know, because the taxes, I'll just sell those and offset my gains.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. There's still something to claim in there. I don't know why. Well, I know some people for some reason bought, like, since the price went to basically zero, they bought like quadrillions of them, kind of like as a memento. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I did notice that happening though. It was rather odd. But yeah, there is some price associated with it still. But yeah, I would definitely look into that. Thanks for coming up though, man. I would definitely recommend to at least follow around, maybe join in every now and then to some of the spaces, hear what we got going on. We got some really cool stuff coming out.
Okay, thanks, man. Thanks for answering my question. I'll step down now.
Absolutely. Thank you. Devin, what's up, my man?
Hey, man. Just wanted to pop in and say thanks for doing everything you're doing. And it's like every day I'm just thinking about the possibility of where this could all go. And it's just kind of mind blowing to consider. And I really look forward to everyone kind of catching on to that. But like one thing I was thinking, like, what if big businesses like Walmart or Burger King or something, like every year put all their profits into XUSD? Like things like that. It's just kind of like completely wild to think about where this could go in, several years down the line. So I just think it's amazing. And I wanted to say thanks. And then I also have like a tiny little silly question because I don't really know shit about code or anything, but is there a way to see what the total amount of tax is that one has paid with Surge? Like I know you can look at your profits with the sell tax, but is there some kind of way to track like how much I've paid in tax?
So if you know exactly how much you've bought in with, it would be the minting tax multiplied by that value.
Okay, so not a
And
hard
if you,
equation to figure out, but for someone who
yeah.
doesn't know shit about math, obviously not. But yeah.
So on most Surge tokens, the buy and sell is the same. It's different on XUSD.
Right.
But yeah, so if you've bought, I don't know, $1,000 of XUSD, then it would be 0.75% times that, or around $7.
Is that something that could easily be put like into the D app for smoothies?
Yeah, no, that could be put in smoothies. Not even on the D app. It could be on the front facing site.
Oh yeah, I actually like that a lot better to track my value. Just putting your like not having to connect the wallet.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, definitely a lot more secure too. All the way around. You don't have to put that wallet anywhere if you just want to look.
Yeah,
absolutely a good option. But yeah, thanks, Devin. Devin actually made a pretty funny TikTok video for XUSD. He won our challenge giveaway thing we were doing that. I suggest everyone check it out. It made me laugh so hard.
It's so good.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm glad it made you laugh.
The whole leadership server was like singing it to each other like through text. They were like just typing the words out. It was
Well,
hilarious.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad everybody enjoyed it, and I appreciated winning it. And I put it right into X Useless too, man, because I love Useless, and
nice.
I'm pumped about that, about Useless too, especially now because it's kind of like at a floor price, so I feel like I'm kind of in at the beginning again with Useless.
It's really
So,
like the most undervalued token I've seen right now. Like I don't understand why. Like the things that they're building are pretty crazy, and I guess they just need to come to light before people realize. But yeah,
I mean, between the two of you guys, and even Vault, like I've had Vault too. I think Vault is tied. I mean, like between SafeBoon and these three, I just feel so like optimistic about the future of everything. It really kind of gives me hope every day. So I appreciate it, man. To all of you.
absolutely, man. Yeah, thanks for coming up, bro.
No problem. Have a good night, y'all.
Yeah, you too. So yeah, with that, guys, we're probably going to wrap this up. Thanks everyone for coming up and saying anything. Anyone listening, if you want to come up next time and say whatever you want to say, you're always welcome to. We're never going to silence you, or unless you come up screaming random stuff like two of the people did today. If you come up cordial, even if your questions, rude or whatever, we'll always hear you out. We'll always talk to you. Your input's definitely valid to all of us. And if you didn't want to come up and say it in spaces, you can always shoot me a DM and say your piece. I'm used to reading them at this point. So yeah, thank you all for coming. Have a great rest of your Sunday, guys. Have a good week.